Oh, hey, Nick.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey, Tyson.
I didn't see you there, buddy.
That's literally what it sounded like. Oh, hey, Nick. That was good. I like that. I like that reading. Hello, Tyson. How are you?
Look, I'm really great, man.
You're good?
Yeah.
You're in a good spot?
I'm in a good spot. I'm excited.
You're excited?
For today's episode.
Have you hit holidays yet, Tyson?
No,
far away. Yeah.
But we did just have it is a public holiday here in in Melbourne. Is it an Australia-wide public holiday?
I believe. Well, it is called the Melbourne Cup.
So it's probably just a Victorian holiday. But yeah, there's a horse race today, and so everyone gets to stay home from work.
That's true.
And so we're all in a good mood, and we're excited to talk about a movie that is very close to my heart.
That's true. Oh, really?
Yeah, played a big part in the formation of my my younger movie-going experiences.
Okay. Yeah, fair deal. Fair deal.
And that is, what year was it? 96? Jesus.
96.
It is 96?
It is 96.
No, 96 is Independence Day.
Roland Emmerich, baby.
Yeah, good old fucking reliable Roland Emmerich.
Coming at you with the start of the disaster. He just owns that genre. He really does. But
he really does. This is Nick Tyson Videotape.
Hey, gang. How are you going?
Glad to have you join in again. In case you haven't noticed, Spooksode's done.
They're done.
We're back to regularly scheduled programming.
I tell you what, they ended with a hell of a blast.
Do you know how great it was to watch a movie that wasn't Saw
related? Jesus Christ!
Holy shit!
Mine was a lovely palate cleanser.
Oh, I was well and truly done with Saw movies.
And will be for the rest of my life.
I'll tell you what though, not well and truly done with horror movies. Oh
no,
because I think because I had to watch so many Saw movies in those last couple of days.
Yeah,
I feel like I almost missed out on just watching some good horror movies.
Decent horror, yeah, fair deal.
And
that's understandable.
Yeah, so I'm going to carry through from October. I think I might end up doing a little bit more. Hi Sam.
Hi Sam. We'll keep that in. Yeah. Fair deal.
But yeah, this is a palate cleanser of all kinds. I think this one.
Well, this is a kind of one where I thought you would switch off and let's chuck this on and I can watch it. It won't be hard to follow. But
it's not hard to follow.
No, it's not. No,
it's not at all. A baby could follow this movie.
We'll get into that later.
We will. Hey, what episode number is it, Nick?
Episode 83.
83. Independence Day. Yeah, maybe 83. Let's call it 83 for now.
Yeah, 83.
Yeah. So, Nick, why don't you tell the people where they can find our little show?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in to us. As I say every week, thank you.
Joining in to us.
Joining in? Oh
with us? Joining in to us.
Thank you.
Joining in with us.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you later. No. Thank you. And if you haven't written a review or subscribed yet, if you are one of our lovely fans, please do so. We would much appreciate it. Other than that, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and join in on the fun.
Please do.
We post a few things. I think we're going to ramp up the posting.
We are, yeah. We're gonna post some more fun stuff.
Yeah.
We're also
we're coming into the jolly season.
It is our Not Quite Christmas Movies specials that we run leading up to Christmas. So we're really excited about that.
So get in early if you want us to do one.
And this is
get in early.
Oh, if you've got any recommendations or requests,
so you
for
can
December.
do that on the social medias. Otherwise, write us in at nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com. We'll read your email even out on the air.
Yeah, we might do that.
That'll be great. Other than that, we're on YouTube as well. But yeah, please like and subscribe. We'll love you heaps.
We will love you heaps. Nick, what do we do first?
We do some trailers.
Oh,
let's talk trailers, Tice.
Everybody's talking
trailers.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Should we start with the rom-com or should we start with the animation?
Well, let's start with the rom-com because I feel like I'm going to have more to say about that one.
Yeah, fair deal.
What's this thing called again?
This thing is called Isn't It Romantic?
It's just a movie. You see, Natalie, life's not a fairy tale. Girls like us don't get that.
But why?
Well, look in the mirror, doll. We're no Julia Roberts.
Every day is payday. Swipe my card, then
What are we talking about?
Natalie's saying that romantic comedies are bad.
All those movies are lies. They're terrible pop songs.
I think people would have an easier time seeing you if you were a little more open.
Hey, I'm Jack.
Natalie.
Give me the purse!
Why does this shit always happen to me?
Where am I?
You're in emergency room.
This isn't an emergency room. This is a Williams Sonoma.
Making my way downtown.
It looks like somebody's put a beauty filter across New York City.
911, what's your emergency?
Someone's broken into my apartment and they've taken everything and replaced it all with much nicer stuff.
So your emergency is that your apartment is too big and you have every shoe you could ever want.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I think I might be going crazy. I hit my head really hard and I woke up in this alternate universe. And now I have a gay sidekick who's setting gay rights back like 100 years.
I love working the legs.
Jesus! And guys look me in the eyes.
You're quite beguiling, aren't you?
Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
No! Oh my God. I think I'm trapped in a... My life's become a romantic comedy!
All right.
You know, I wasn't a fan of Rebel Wilson back in the day.
Really?
I wasn't.
Okay.
Because she popped up in... Because I knew of her around the time of when the first... This is hilarious. Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage came out.
That's
and that was
right.
filming in Melbourne.
And she had a random little
And
cameo.
she had a random cameo. And I was like, oh, can you get off, you weird Australian
What was
girl?
what was the comedy show she was on? I've forgotten the name now.
Yeah, and that's what I knew her from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, was it a sketch comedy show or was it a weird kind of like character-driven thing with kind of sketches inbuilt? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I'll look it up.
I felt like it was a very strange show and it never really, like it...
I don't think it took off.
No, I think
Yeah.
it had like a season.
Oh, she was in... yeah, she was in the Fat Pizza type of series. It was called World Record Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't it that? I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway. Yeah, so she was in that. And...
Australia's own Rebel Wilson.
Australia's own Rebel Wilson. But she's turned into a massive thing over in the States. And you know what? I could not be prouder. Because I love Rebel Wilson now.
Oh, good.
I think she's badass.
I'm not 100% on board with her shtick.
Okay, sure.
I think sometimes when in the right circumstances, I think she can be quite funny.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just got such a strange energy about her and a strange delivery.
Sure.
That I think in certain movies she just doesn't work at all because it's
It's just bizarre.
at odds with the tone of what everyone else is doing.
Yep. Did you think what else have you seen in? Did you think she fit in Pitch Perfect? Because I know you watched that.
No, not really.
Really?
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mind her. She was a breath of fresh air.
Is she in that How to Be Single movie?
She is in that, I believe.
That was garbage. I hated that movie.
Why would you watch that?
Oh, because I just watch movies, Nick.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And so do I. And maybe one day we'll do all of those type of movies where there's, for some reason, all these actors who either don't have work or be great actors. We'll just chuck them in.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
Let's
Screw
do
it.
this.
We're doing a movie called New Year's Eve.
Yeah, great.
You'll fit right in.
Look, and it's not a personal thing by any stretch. I'm not quite sure if she always has the right energy. I think when she's used really well, she's great. What was the movie where
she comes in and in small doses? She's great.
Her and Matt Lucas from Little Britain. Is it Matt Lucas? They were like the weird housemates of somebody, and they kept.
Oh, really?
What film was that?
Is that Bridesmaids? She was in Bridesmaids.
Maybe it was
Bridesmaids.
Maybe it was Bridesmaids.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I haven't seen a lot. I know she was in Pain and Gain. Did you see Pain and Gain?
I tried to watch Pain and Gain. I watched the first 15 minutes I was like, this movie is not for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I was so excited.
I have that feeling a lot with Michael Bay movies.
I was so excited though because it was Michael Bay not doing Transformers, and I was like, "Yeah, man, let's see what he's got." Oh, this is kind of boring,
and
look, it's a full pass.
If there's one thing you want from a Michael Bay movie, it's to be not boring.
Not boring, exactly, and it was boring. So, are you going back on the movie that's called "Isn't It Romantic"?
Yes.
Rebel Wilson. She doesn't think that she can get guys, and then she gets knocked on the head.
So it's typical kind of like it starts off with a little bit of a kind of a prologue with her mum, played by I'm blanking on stuff tonight,
aren't you?
I'm
Look
really
at
from
you.
Ab Fab. What's her name?
Come on, I'm not going to tell you. I knew straight off the head, straight off the top.
No,
of
you're
my
gonna
head.
have to tell me tonight. I can't. I just
really.
Jennifer Saunders.
There you go. There you go. There's my buddy.
Oh, doing an awful Australian accent.
It was hilarious.
Basically saying that romantic comedies are nonsense. Don't watch them. It'll never happen to you because you're not Julia Roberts. And then
with Pretty Woman playing in the background, and it was cute. It was cute.
Yeah.
And then she sees Liam Hemsworth, who's sort of the He's the poor man's.
Well, that hasn't happened yet. Like,
No.
so obviously, yeah, she's grown up and she's a jaded, kind of cynical person who isn't interested in love, doesn't believe in romantic comedies, rah, 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 rah.
Yep.
Cops a knock to the head.
And all of a sudden has like a filter put on the world.
Well, the life suddenly starts to resemble a romantic comedy. One of those things that it's funny that I was watching it and I was like, yeah, they do actually make every city just look like the most beautiful place in the world in a romantic comedy, don't they?
Absolutely.
They really do.
Yeah, I want one of
flowers everywhere and everything.
Collingwood.
Oh, could you
do
imagine?
Like a Collingwood version?
A romantic comedy set in Collingwood.
Collingwood, Australia.
Yeah, out the front of the tote.
For those of you playing the overseas game, the tote is a pub. And
for those
bar.
of you, I was going to say, for those of you overseas, a pub is a drinking establishment.
A tavern, for those of you listening in Iceland. But yeah, she gets a knock on the head, and for some reason she has a filter on, and everything's amazing and beautiful. But it's more so that it's not just that. It's not like a shallow howl where she doesn't see anything.
She's legitimately living the life
She's
of
living
a romantic
the life of a romantic comedy. Yeah, and I didn't realize that till the end, where Liam Hemsworth came out and was like, they had obviously done something the night before. He came out of the bathroom and went, "Oh, that was lovely last night.
Yeah,
that was so nice." And she went, "We didn't do anything. I literally went to sleep and woke up and this has happened."
It's cut.
And she jumps, and it's cut, and
there's,
you don't get
little
to see
clever moments in it, like playing upon the whole, the tropes of the romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yes.
Have you seen the David Wain comedy They Came Together with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler?
No, I haven't.
Sounds
like, why haven't I seen that?
It's a wonderful movie. That is this movie.
Yeah.
But
for reals.
But maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
No, probably more. Probably 7 or 8 years ago now.
Okay.
They did the same thing. So Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd star in it, and it is they are telling the story of how they got together to a bunch of friends at a dinner restaurant. Except the whole thing is a play on the romantic comedy genre. It's like sits in this really kind of clever satire space where there's the best friend and they play basketball together, and and he's the one that can't get his life sorted, and his best friend's a womanizer, and like all the things that pop up in all these movies that starred Matthew McConaughey for 7 years. And it's very, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Or
Richard Gere. Everyone loves Richard Gere.
They did love Richard Gere.
What is he doing now?
He's doing like weird independent stuff. Yeah, he doesn't pop up anymore. It's a shame.
I don't mind Richard Gere. I don't mind Richard Gere.
He's pretty great.
Hang on, was he? I don't think it's someone else.
This is a tangent.
Sorry, keep going.
So
they've done it before.
So I feel like I've seen this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm interested because I think there's a rich kind of mine of things you can get from this, from like making fun of the romantic comedy genre. I don't know if this movie is clever enough to really nail it.
Yeah,
the same way, like when you see David Wain. Like you jump to Red Hot American Summer and you think about how unbelievably clever and hilarious that is as a deconstruction of the 80s summer camp movies.
Yeah. God, that was funny. God, that was a funny. I've only seen the TV series. I haven't even watched the movie.
Oh yeah,
yet.
and look, I haven't watched all the series, but it's all gold.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
Gold.
The movie is outstanding and ridiculous, and just goes in places that you just would not expect. It's so bonkers, and that's what you get from him. So, I'm kind of interested by this. There's a couple, like I laughed at. I like the fact that they acknowledge that the gay best friend character is setting back gay rights for a decade because he's sitting there doing calisthenics and saying "girl" and all that kind of stuff, and I think that's funny and
over
clever.
the camp to the point where you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of these movies do have, and
they do.
It's never really a great thing to include in them. She can't swear because
like have the gay best friend, but he doesn't mean to be that. Like he's not that camp. Like,
but that's the point. That's the point. It's like the level of campness that they give to these characters is usually kind of obnoxiously so, and really not a great reflection.
Yeah. What else were you going to say?
Well, the fact that it's a PG-13
that was
romantic comedy, so she can't swear, or the truck beeping over her, which I feel like is kind of a bit of a riff on what they're doing in The Good Place at the moment, which is where they can't swear in there, so she says shirt all the time, and
I tuned out of The Good Place.
Good Place is fantastic.
I watched a season. I watched a season and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'm done. I think because I churned it out too fast.
Sure.
I think that's what happened. But yeah, it has kind of been done before, and you have seen these things. And because it's Rebel Wilson, I don't want to say this, but because it's Rebel Wilson, it may not have that. What's a? Nothing's coming to mind at the moment, but a movie that's done this, but a little bit better, to the point where if the character doesn't mind being like kind of learns from what she's in and goes, oh, you know what? This is not that bad.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
What I don't think Rebel Wilson does well is play fully rounded characters.
Yeah.
She is there for her shtick. Yeah.
Yeah, fair
you cannot say that, yes, she can deliver dialogue that indicates that she has learnt something.
Yeah.
But her performance rarely lends you to think that she's actually gone on a journey as a character.
Yeah. Totally true.
So in a situation like this, where we know the movie's going to turn into some kind of like life lessons horseshit, like that's just what's going to happen, because it will be a parody of this stuff, but it's going to end up being a romantic comedy.
It is.
Like it's just going to have to happen. It's the way it's going to work.
We know it's going to happen.
And
there's a formula to these things.
And I'm just not sure how it's going to go when we, as an audience, have to fully kind of
believe her character,
and empathize with her. Correct, because I think she works better as a caricature.
A side character. Or a little run-in. Or a cameo.
Yeah. It's not that she can't... She's not great at what she does.
Exactly.
But it's very broad what she does.
It is.
And if you want to have an arc that actually completes something, I'm not sure how she's going to go with that. I'm interested to see.
We'll see what happens.
I think it's a we'll see what happens thing.
It's a thank you, maybe.
Exactly. It's a thank you for your time. Thank you for the effort you put in to make the trailer.
Exactly.
Maybe
we'll come back to you.
Don't call us.
We'll stream you. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. One fateful Sunday afternoon.
I hope it does box office well overseas. It's not going to do anything here, but
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes, one day when I'm hungover and I want to watch a comedy.
Yep.
Because I don't have the brain power for anything else.
Give it a shot.
I'll probably give this a spin.
I doubt it, Tyson. You're much more of a Police Academy man.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? They just added Police Academy 6 or something to Netflix. I think that's complete. I think the journey is complete.
The journey is coming full circle.
Yeah.
He is going to Moscow.
I was wondering what I was doing this weekend. I now know.
No, you're going to watch.
I'll be marathoning.
You're going to watch Infinity War.
Actually, I do want to rewatch Infinity War.
We've got to watch Infinity War again.
But why would I when I can marathon the Police Academy movies?
Fuck, I would love that day. I would love that. I'm just going to sit. No, that'd be a waste of a day for me. I'm like, no, why would I do that when I can do Phase 3 again? That's what my day is.
No, fair enough.
Next up, Tice.
Next trailer. What are we talking about?
We are talking about Spies in Disguise.
Identity scan initiated. Hello, Agent Sterling.
Let the beat drop.
It worked. Subject appears disoriented.
Walter, what did you do?
Pigeons are everywhere and nobody notices them. It's the most perfect form a spy could take.
Unbird me right now. Stop, girl, seriously.
Hey, Lance, look at me.
Look at you? I can't not look at you, Walter. I can see my butt and your face at the same time.
Very good.
I'm pretty sure they've done it because it's birds in the skies. Like it's a play on words, no? Spies in disguise, birds in the sky, no?
Maybe.
Okay, so starting this off, I didn't watch this trailer because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, and I was telling my good friend Tyson, who's sitting across from me, I said,
hey guys,
oh, they're cashing in. Incredibles 2 did gangbusters, and I'm not going to watch this. This is just going to rip it off. And then my friend Ty said, yeah, they totally are, but watch to the end and see what happens. And it is sort of the same thing. You've got Will Smith being a badass spy in disguise, and then all of a sudden, he turns into a bird.
So it looks like an animated James Bond kind of thing, where it's like, oh yeah, look cool, super gadgets, super spy. He's doing all these cool stunts and
he's got a badass
explosions,
car.
badass cars, like falling out of windows and like gliding with his suit
with the
stuff.
suit with the wings.
And so it looks like maybe we're getting like it's just like, it is a riff on Incredibles. Well, we've done superheroes. What else? Well, let's do a super spy kind of thing with a cartoon. And then he just randomly turns into a bird. And it was definitely not what I expected at all.
Like it came out of fucking nowhere.
Absolutely out of nowhere.
Especially because I've seen that bird, the bird him yelling. I've seen that freeze framed in a lot of shots.
Yes,
I was like, what animated bird shit is this? Like, I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end, I was like,
it's this movie. I've seen the screen cap for this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
God, yeah, what a fucking...
It was such a twist. It was such a twist. So is he, like... He's
what a great twist. Like, very good. Very good twist. That one. Imagine if it's like that's like the last thing that happens in the movie.
Is the kid that turns him into a bird, is that his Q?
Well,
like
I
his
don't
Bond's
know.
Version of
they
Q?
seem to know each other.
Yeah.
But it's not referenced in the trailer.
No, you get nothing.
It's just a dude that's turned this guy into a bird.
And he keeps yelling at him like they know each other and they're like, turn me back into a human, what are you doing?
And he has like other birds as well. There's another bird
Only because the line... what made me think of that? What made me think that is that because the line says... I wanted to make something that would fly under the radar, and what's going to fly under the radar best than a bird? And I'm like, are you working with him? Who knows? Look, it's a teaser. We don't really have much.
We don't have much.
To work
I'm
off.
assuming I like the voices though. I like Tom Holland. Tom Holland's got a great voice.
Really?
I really like his voice. It suits Spider-Man so unbelievably well.
It does suit Spider-Man.
And so in this environment, I just hear his voice and it kind of makes me happy. So
fair deal. That's good.
Yeah, and Will Smith. Will Smith doesn't really sound like Will Smith.
No, in this, does he? No.
It was weird. Is he just getting old now?
No, I think they're making his voice like younger in this.
Oh.
I think that's what I got.
Sure.
I don't remember. It doesn't sound, especially because I've literally just watched Independence Day. So
maybe, but that's unfair because that's 25 years ago. So maybe
your voice doesn't change that much, does it? Are you telling me that when I get to his age, my voice is going to be different?
Well, listen to James Earl Jones from like Star Wars 1 to Star Wars 2.
Good point. Or in 10 years, if we're still... Sorry. Jesus, I apologise for my friend Tyson.
That was inappropriate.
Well, maybe in 10 years, if we, get around to it and for some, like if the podcast angels look kindly upon us and we get a Patreon and actually make $1 from this thing... Listen back to episode 1 while you're listening to this and tell me if I sound different. I probably won't. I doubt it.
We'd sound like babies.
We sound like babies?
We'd probably sound like children who stumbled upon
kids
a
who
microphone.
Don't know what the hell that they're doing.
Well, we didn't know what the hell we were doing anyway.
Yeah, we didn't.
Some would argue we still don't.
And that's fine. Look, we agree with you. We fully agree. Write us in. We'll send you a basket of meat, basket of flowers or something. I don't know.
A meat tray?
A meat tray.
Is that what you said first? A basket of meat?
It was. Do you know why? Because I was at work and we were talking about Spider-Man and we were talking about how good Jonah Jameson is in Spider-Man in Remy's first 3.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about how Jonah Jameson is just like J.K. he was on the ball. He was smack on the money and just, I need a job, sir. You don't need a job. Freelance. Best thing in the world for a kid your age. You give me more photos of that newspaper selling clown, I'll take him off your hands. Meat. I'll give you a nice package of Christmas meat. Best I can do. Get out of here. And I played that over so many times because it made me laugh so hard.
Perfect. I love it. And look, who doesn't need some meat? Like a tray of meat.
Vegans.
Good call.
But who's listening to
them?
Good
call.
Who's listening to them? They talk too much. Do you know who else is in this? Rashida Jones,
I love Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones. Ben Mendelsohn.
Mendo. Australia's Own.
And Karen Gillan from Doctor Who. Doctor Who? Yeah.
And Avengers.
Who's she in Avengers?
Isn't Karen Gillan, she's Nebula.
She's Nebula, yeah. I don't know.
And
see, that makeup job
jungle she was in as well. No. Jumanji 2.
That was gold.
Was that called Welcome to the Jungle?
Well, I think the byline was Welcome to the Jungle. And it was Jumanji 2. But it was Jumanji 2, Journey something into the something zone.
No, that was Journey 2.
Jedi the Last. What?
I liked how the sequel to Journey of the Center of the Earth was called Journey 2.
Yeah.
But so it's the same title, but
Journey 2
with a number this time.
But Journey 2.
But it's the second one.
Center of the Earth. That is terrible.
Yes, look, this looks kind of fun.
Look, I'm sure. No. I'm sure that in 3 years, I'm going to have seen this thing about 5 times.
Well, that's it. There's a good chance. You obviously have a market now.
I do have a market.
You are this market.
I really don't want to.
In the sense that you are going to very shortly be of the age where your boy Clark is going to be wanting to watch this kind of era stuff. This kind of age stuff where it's like, it's not too, it's not too full on, but it's not super like Baby Barney shit.
Yeah, which is what I'm watching now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like...
Nursery rhymes on motherfucking repeat.
He's going to turn 4 or 5 and he's going to fucking throw that shit out the window.
I can't wait for that day. I want to skip the Teletubbies Wiggles days. I want to skip
Wiggles
those.
are all right.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give them a go, but I'm not doing Teletubbies.
I know, because it's... Well, like maybe smoke up a fat J before you do it.
What kind of parenting is that?
Oh, it's the best kind,
Good
my man.
Lord.
No.
Yeah. Fair deal. Well, look, maybe don't come to Nick and Tice for parental advice.
Oh, who's going here for parental advice? You're a fucking idiot. I don't know. That's unfair. You're a dad.
I am a dad. Look, I can give you parental advice if you want, but that's another podcast. That's another podcast.
Don't go
I'm
even
sure.
near me for that shit.
Hey, that's not true, Tyson. How long have you been a teacher? Come on.
Oh no, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, there you go,
I shouldn't
mate.
say that
there you go.
too,
Yeah. Students might be listening.
If there better not be any of my students listening. How dare they?
Oh, that's golden. Spies in Disguise. Look, we're gonna stream it. We're gonna stream it. Okay, we'll stream it.
Oh, yeah, look, hey, I like the look of it.
Do you?
And to be quite honest, I'm intrigued by the whole bird premise. It does tickle me a little bit.
It's so random. Look, watch this with a Beefy J, and I'm sure it'll be fucking fantastic. Like, seriously, he's like, why is he a bird all of a sudden? Like, that's insane.
Imagine if you, like, got up to go to the bathroom and came back and missed the bird transformation, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Do you know?
Did someone change the channel?
Can I tell you?
Did I walk into the wrong cinema?
Can I tell you a story? And this is going to maybe isolate some of our audience, but hey, you know what you are, and so do we. But we were watching. Me and Sam were watching a movie. I think it was. Is it Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
Yes.
Is that the name?
That is the name.
We were watching that, and he'd put the movie in, and he had the remote. And for some reason on the remote, he had pressed random, Tyson. So the scenes played in random order. Now, we didn't realise this until halfway in. This gentleman is from Queensland, and that's why I blame that. But
Queenslanders, man.
Midway through, I was like, we need to stop this. What has I know film pretty well, and something is going deathly wrong here.
I like that it took you until like
it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes
you think, oh, this is playing.
Oh wow, this is
kind of
some
jumping
Tarantino shit right here.
Timeline, jumping around. Wow, Kevin
Seriously.
Smith's getting a bit ambitious
right?
with this. I thought I was just getting a dumb comedy.
Right. For some reason, we've got a sex scene like back. What's going on? Maybe it does a backwards forwards thing. Seriously, Sam lost it. She was like, "Can you give me the fucking remote, you idiot?" It was gold.
And she's not wrong.
Yeah, I will never watch Zack and Miri Make a Porno again because it hurt my face.
That's
because it was
not a
bad
terrible
watch.
movie.
That was a bad watch for me.
Yeah.
You know how you
that's
watch
not
a
how you
movie
wanna, no, of course
and
not.
it taints the
That's
film.
not how you want to watch that movie at all.
I love that movie. Taint. I love that word taint. Sorry, keep going.
Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise.
I think we've done that trailer justice. I think we've really delved deep.
We've brought it home.
Yeah, I think so.
I like it.
Let's just fucking move on. Hey, what's next, Nicholas?
Next up is our feature presentation.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, here we are.
Roland.
Indeed.
Emmerich.
Yes, the man himself. I feel bad for Roland Emmerich, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, because here's the thing.
Go for it. What do you got? You haven't got anything, I tell
No,
you.
I don't have a lot. I had high hopes for Roland Emmerich.
Back in the day?
Yeah. It's
because he needs to broaden his horizons, man.
I had faith in him, man.
We're talking Day After Tomorrow. We're talking Independence Day. We're talking 1000 BC.
Yeah, but let's go in order because this is
sure.
Like, so when think of, like, it was Independence Day his first big
I believe
release.
So. Oh no, Stargate, Tyson.
Oh, Stargate.
That's actually a fucking decent film.
Stargate's not bad.
That's a good film.
I watched it. I only watched it for the first time not long ago.
Wow, really?
Oh no, we're forgetting one in much more exciting.
Oh yeah,
Universal Soldier.
Oh, dude, is that the? Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren together at last.
I actually really rate Universal Soldier. It's been a while.
I rate Universal Soldier quite highly. I think it's pretty great for
the time.
Yeah.
It's
been a really long time.
It was badass.
I would love to watch some of these
gritty
other films that he has directed from the 80s because I have never heard of these. What is Hollywood Monster from 1987?
No one needs to see
that. That sounds like a blast.
No one needs to see this. Really? Only you, Jesus.
Look at this little monster guy.
Look at that cover.
On a crazy night in Hollywood, anything can happen. Oh, it's a One Crazy Night movie. I love those.
Ghost Chase.
Moon 44? All right, so maybe you didn't start off too well. But
I think my brother and I have watched this film before. I'm going to look that up later.
So, yeah, we did get, obviously, Universal Soldier. I think is a really great...
Independence Day, Godzilla. I'm going to rate Patriot in there because that was not too bad at the time.
I actually really like the Patriot.
Yeah. And then it was downhill after Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow is
2004.
not great. But from there...
It's just...
it gets real bad.
Like, real bad.
Real bad.
2012.
2012 was one of those... It's probably one of the most, like, frustrated and... disappointed and just all over, like, shattered leaving a cinema at the end of it.
Did you see that?
I was pumped, man. I was really pumped because it was the master doing what he does.
Of an actual Mayan theory? Is it Mayan theory?
Yeah. And there was that whole thing, like, everyone was actually kind of like, oh, man, like, this might actually happen. 2012.
I really fucking doubted.
We were idiots. Like, let's be real. But
yeah, so was the Millennium Bug.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically Y2K all over again. Y2K. But this is the guy, like, 96 was kind of...
It was the era, man.
It was the beginning of...
But that's the thing, the
resurgence of the disaster films.
But not only that... 96 was smack bang. You just had a couple of years previous. The summer blockbuster was coming back in a really big way. Like Jaws was a while ago, and then you're coming back with Jurassic Park was the major big one, I think, and then after that, Bad Boys with Will Smith was another big summer blockbuster, and then I'm only picking one from each year.
Sure.
And then you've got Independence Day, which is also massive. So these summer blockbusters were huge. I think
it was. Yeah, I'm sure there was consistently the blockbuster mentality was still around, but this is around the time that I physically remember it really becoming an important thing.
Yeah,
like I remember the craziness for Batman '89.
Yeah. Oh, that was huge.
But yeah, this is around the time when I was really becoming conscious of the idea of what is the summer movie? What is the big movie of the summer? And it was this.
Yeah. It was huge. Because it was everywhere too.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah. Absolutely everywhere. You could not fucking...
Yeah, back in the day
you could not buy a single product from a supermarket without it being Independence Day labelled, like promotional
Independence
version
Day,
of it.
Coca-Cola, Independence Day Mars Bar, Independence Day Cup. It was everywhere.
And it really did... It brought back that... This and Twister, which was the same year, really brought back that whole... Hey, we're just going to watch things blow up or get destroyed.
Yeah, man.
Because we're reaching a time where technology is letting us do it.
Yep. Getting to a point where it's badass. It looked pretty fresh.
Yeah. And so here, it
was the wow factor, man.
Here is here's what money you can buy now. We can put the money on the screen, check it out.
Yeah.
This thing went nuts, and I remember going nuts for it too. Like 100%. I was on board all the way.
I did see this at the cinema.
I definitely saw it at the cinema.
I did.
I think I might have seen it more than once at the cinema.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I saw Twister more than once. I think I was more leaning towards Twister as a blockbuster for me as a kid. And I think my school took me to see Twister for some reason.
I think if you put those two movies side by side, Twister does not hold up in any way, shape or form.
No.
Independence Day gets better.
Really?
Really? This is the most I've enjoyed it. This time I watched it this time, yeah.
Tyson, really?
Probably the most I've ever enjoyed it.
Because...
Sorry.
No, please.
It had been a while.
Okay.
This used to be one of the movies, that we've talked about some of these movies, where if I had nothing to watch, or if I was getting lazy, I'd let's just watch Independence Day again.
Independence Day.
Because to me, it's a breeze. It's 2.5 hours. It is the breeziest 2.5 hours that has ever existed.
It is 2.5 hours.
It's over, though. But it starts, and it is over. You do not feel that 2.5 hours at all.
Okay. Well, I'm going to... Sorry.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, but so I watched it a ton. But this is probably the longest break I've had between watching it since this time and whatever the previous time was.
Yep.
And I don't know what it was specifically, other than the fact that I think I am now less cynical, and I like to see, and I don't like. That's not entirely true. I'm still cynical about certain things.
Yeah.
But I am able to appreciate sincerity in a particular way now, and I can actually be like, you know what? No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being sincere. There's nothing wrong with wearing your heart on your sleeve. And I think this movie really does, and does it really well. And I was totally on board with it.
Nice.
Yeah. You were not?
I wasn't.
No, right.
Only because I am. As soon as you said it, I am a cynical old man.
Sure.
And because I haven't. It's been a long time since I've seen Independence Day. The last time I watched this was probably in the 90s.
Sure.
So there were things where I was like, oh, decent. I do not remember this at all. So I was really loving it. So it was kind of a little bit of a fresh watch. There were things like I remember watching it in the 90s, and that bit where he's dragging the alien through the desert. I rewound that more than once because I loved that scene.
Sure.
It was so good. But in this, I felt that it was doing its best only because of... That's not to say at the time, it was amazing, and I loved it. But nowadays, and because of my attention span, because of maybe what I've seen, because of where films are now, 2.5 hours... You need to bring a little bit more to the table for me nowadays. That's all. And that's not to say that this movie... I agree with what you said, that this movie does wear its heart on its sleeve, and it lets you really get into these characters.
Yeah.
It lets you sit with them. You've got 3 main characters in here. You've got the president, you've got the Will Smith, and you've got Jeff Goldblum. And you sit with all 3 of them. You see what they're going through and how that affects them. And I think that... 2 of them don't really hit home for me.
Oh, okay, cool.
One of them really does, and that's what I enjoyed the most out of this watch, which was great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick which one.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know, because I find all 3 of them really, really well. If I had to pick probably the least effective of the 3, it would be the Will Smith character.
Yep. Okay, that was one.
But between the Jeff Goldblum and the Bill Pullman, I think they're both excellent.
Yeah,
but Bill Pullman's my favourite.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I can't stand Bill Pullman.
No,
and that's
really?
only because of the actor. So if it had been someone else, I just think his acting is really flat in most things that he does.
Very interesting.
That's why... When did we bring up Bill Pullman last time? Because
remember.
It was something else that we brought up, and I was like, Bill Pullman out of nowhere. Was it Sleepers in Seattle?
Well, I mean,
Is he in that?
Yeah, he's in it. He's the boring boyfriend in
that's why we
Sleepers
brought
in
him
Seattle.
up, because I was like, that is Bill Pullman doing exactly what I think he should do. But yeah, no, it's Jeff Goldblum all the way. And it's not just because Jeff Goldblum is an eccentric person and brings that into his acting. It is because, like, him with his father, the wanting to change the world a bit more, and the ex-wife that he can't let go of.
Yeah,
that grabbed me. It was gold.
I think he's.
But that's not to say. Do you know what? I fucking love that speech. We'll get to it later, but I love that speech.
It's gold.
That's a nice.
It's a nice speech. I think I would agree that I think the Jeff Goldblum character is probably the most well-rounded of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like his performance the best of the 3 as well. I think he brings a really fun, kind of different vibe to it. I like that it's... Jeff Goldblum's kind of like an interesting kind of presence because he very often gets asked to play kind of smart, not traditionally handsome people. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
The thing about it is, Jeff Goldblum is a good-looking dude.
He's
fit as fuck too.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he's much closer to Ian Malcolm.
Yes.
Than he is to the in air quotes the nerds that he is sometimes playing.
Yeah. The Brundle flies.
Yeah. So when you see him in something like this, and it's like, oh, he's the smart guy that's figured it out. And I'm also like, yeah, but he's taller than Will Smith, man. He's in as good shape as Will Smith is. That bit at the end where they're strutting out of the spaceship.
That was such a beautiful scene. I loved it.
This, give or take which one of these ones looks fucking cooler right now.
Exactly.
Because they're having a legit cool off.
Really is Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum's holding his own in that strut.
Totally is.
Absolutely.
Especially because he's got almost it's almost like a limp that he's got, but he works it. Like
he does work it. He definitely works it.
Jeff Goldblum, man.
He's got the
strut with cigars. Tyson.
Who doesn't, man?
Jesus
Who doesn't? Walking away from an exploding spaceship.
You literally crash landed.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you would have been hurting.
They've pulled up all right.
Yeah. There's so many of those bits in this movie that I'm like, nah. Come on.
Look, and so this is where I kind of don't give a rat's because I'm like,
it's aliens. Invading.
Exactly.
Let go.
It's like logic has no place in this in the first place because the entire premise of the film is something that logically doesn't exist at the moment.
Exactly.
And it's stuff that we talked about before. I remember we had a good conversation about this when we were talking about Looper.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't tell me about the logic of time travel. It's time travel.
Yeah.
Like it's all theoretical.
Yeah.
So no matter what, anything is possible. Anything is possible because you're presenting an unbelievable thing as your main premise anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I do not care. People.
The main one though for me that stuck out was the fact that in the end, when they're over, I think they're still at Area 51.
Yeah.
That bunker, and old mate flies up and hits it. Hello, boys! I'm back and crashes it. That thing is that spaceship is how fucking long?
Yes,
that's literally just going to crash on them. Like it's not going to and go to the side, and then all of a sudden, we can get out this way. No, it's just going to fall flat.
Well, look, and this is,
but
obviously it's pretty, you're in trouble.
It's massive.
I think they've discovered that it's going to be a shambles whatever happens, and it's better that they're dead and it's a shambles and we're dealing with the destruction on the floor than trying to keep fighting.
I loved it. The cleanup on Independence Day would be
This is I want to save it till the end because I do want to have a little discussion about the sequel later.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I
just wanted to watch it before this.
Damn.
So it's funny. So I really enjoyed this.
I knew you would. This is all over you, Tyson.
But see, I didn't think I thought maybe it would have the opposite effect. I thought maybe I'd sit down and watch it and the stuff, it would start to feel too quaint now and I'd be like, nah, it's not really working for me anymore.
Yeah.
But I can see why this started what it did start. Because I honestly, I wouldn't have picked it as the one that would, for me, be like the standout of this genre. Like if we go to disaster films.
Really? You're not jumping on the Dante's Peak bandwagon?
Dante's Peak is fine. I like Dante's Peak a lot. It is not great though. It has problems. Volcano's garbage. What else is there?
We talked about 2012.
See, I would have for a while. I would have said Deep Impact was my favorite.
You love that. I can't believe you love that
because
especially over Armageddon. What are you insane?
But Armageddon is like the roided up cocaine fueled version of Deep Impact
version.
Mr. I am the Lord.
Sorry.
Exactly. But
what else is there?
Well, it's
Twister.
Of this era, though, this very specific era.
Hard Rain.
That's not really.
Floods.
Floods. Does that count though?
Floods.
Hard Rain. What about The Core?
Floods. The Core. Oh God, I hated The Core.
Yeah, everyone hates The Core. The Core is garbage.
One of 6 movies I've ever in my lifetime watched about half of, and I'm like, I am not watching this anymore. Turn this off.
I would say
that has Hilary Swank in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
What were you going to say?
I would say, and look, maybe it's unfair to bundle these together because it's an alien invasion flick, but it is heavily influenced by the disaster movie tropes.
Sure.
Like, and I think this movie actually built a lot of them. Like, how many times do you see in movies now?
Yep.
Like, let's talk about something like San Andreas.
Sure.
Right? Have you seen San Andreas?
Which I actually really want to see still. No.
It was fine.
It was fine?
Yeah, it's not great, but it was fine.
Okay.
But it's the same things that ends up happening. You have a scene with, some kind of brainiac in a control center somewhere that we don't see ever again for the rest of the movie, who notices a weird blip on something, who calls somebody else, who then calls the president, or, there's probably a couple of steps in between that, and somebody has to say, get get me the Pentagon, and then there's people at the Pentagon running around going, well, it's nothing we've ever seen before, sir. It's blah 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 blah.
We've literally got 36 hours, sir.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's and then we meet the president, and he's doing something cute, like he's that's it. He's playing
croquet or something.
Yeah. Exactly, croquet.
I really want to play croquet.
It happens in all of these movies, all of them.
Yeah.
Just watch Geostorm, for instance,
Jesus
and you'll
Christ.
see the worst possible versions of this. But this movie, maybe there were movies earlier to this that kind of built this.
Yeah.
Like, as I haven't seen like The Towering Inferno or anything like
Yeah,
or something
old
like that.
school,
So maybe some of
baby.
these older disaster films kind of did similar things. But this movie like built that framework that so many other movies have used. And this one gets to kind of be the best version of that, I think. Because it never really...
it was kind of the first.
Well,
yeah,
not only
I
just the
agree.
first, but it is the best version of it. Like, none of these other ones, I think, compare. Because regardless of... You can watch it now and kind of laugh at how predictable it is. But none of the other ones, and I'll probably include Deep Impact and Armageddon in this as well, because they're probably the closest two that try, have characters that I think are as well drawn as this.
Yeah, you love that Deep Impact, don't you?
Yeah, it's got some really nice stuff in it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I prefer Perfect Storm.
Oh yeah, Perfect Storm.
Perfect Storm?
That's a bit more...
No?
It's a bit more isolated, so I don't know if I...
No?
But it's close to Twister, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, Towering Inferno. I still need to see that. And The Impossible. Is The Impossible...
The Impossible is fucking great, but it is...
It's not a disaster movie, though, is it?
Oh, well, technically, it's probably the closest thing to a disaster movie because it's a real one.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Titanic, I guess. Is Titanic a disaster film?
Is Titanic a disaster film? Write in, tell us. Is Titanic a disaster film? I don't think so. I think it's a romantic comedy with a fuck up at the end.
The Impossible is fucking great, but it's hard work.
Yeah, bring it on.
I don't know what's going on next door, but...
I think we're having a party.
Oh. It's a lot of strange flashing lights.
It is, I see it, yeah.
Speaking of Independence Day.
Cracking on. Yeah, fair deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm even when I'm talking about it now, I'm getting real kind of... I'm on board this movie. I think it's... I'm even getting to the point where it's like...
watch it again. Fuck it.
I think it might be better than its reputation
really
holds. I think I'm going to like... This might be one of those ones that I'm going to keep telling people, you know what? Go back and watch Independence Day again.
Not if you have a spare 2.5 fucking hours, man. Like, this is one of the first... And I hate that I'm about to say this, but this is one of the first times where I was watching it and I'm like, okay, Independence Day, let's do this. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that bit. That was decent. Yeah, okay, cool. Will Smith, yeah, badass.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. And then I look at the time and then I'm like, I need to go to bed. How long has this got? Jesus, this has an hour and a half still.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn this, which I hate doing. I know that you do it quite a bit.
Yeah, I did it for this. I did it in 2 sittings.
Give it a pause and watch it the next sitting. I can't watch a movie in 2 sittings. You miss the
thing about
momentum, man.
The thing about this movie is I know it so well is I knew exactly when to go to bed, and it was the moment that they talk about Area 51 when he's like literally the line when he says that's not entirely true. It could be intermission.
Yeah,
like
fair deal.
It's almost designed perfectly to be the intermission. So I knew I was tired.
Yep.
Went laptop closed.
Nice.
Going to sleep.
Go to sleep. All right. I did the same. Exact same spot. Did
there
you
you
know
go.
that?
Nice.
And I didn't know.
Yes.
I was like, I know where this is going. Pause.
Yeah. And that's the point to do it.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, but look, maybe if I watched it all straight again, I would feel the length a little bit more. But yeah, it doesn't really feel...
It feels it for me. But that doesn't mean... That's not to take away from the fact that I didn't still enjoy it to some extent. You know, it's
no, I think it's impossible to not enjoy this film.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon you either
especially like it doesn't take away from the bad CGI. There is no bad CGI in this.
There's a couple of moments, but generally it holds up fantastically well.
Better than if you watch Twister.
Yeah, it's garbage. Yeah,
don't watch
Twister's pretty rough.
Yeah.
The only moments of CGI that I reckon kind of were a bit naff. So there's some green screen projection stuff where they've got people in front of things, which look a little hokey.
A lot when the checkmate happens and all the things blow up,
sure,
and a lot of the fire coming out, like that looks a bit rough, but still.
And there's
passable.
There's one shot of the alien when it kind of it jumps and it's kind of when it's in the containment unit, and it's all the fog and smoke over and it jumps down. It looks a bit naff, but generally because so much of that destruction scene was done with miniatures, that it looks so great. Like it still looks fantastic.
We always come back to this, me and Tice.
Yeah,
miniatures or stop motion, use it and it'll hold up for years. Hold up for years. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like that White House blow up. That was a miniature.
Looks so
Still
good.
looks good. Still looks good.
I love that sequence. I think it's something else because it just, I can't even begin to imagine the shock of seeing that for the first time. I don't remember it.
The White House blowing up. Yeah.
Everything blowing up.
Oh, right.
Basically, because it doesn't pull any punches either. Like it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, man.
Like
everyone dies.
And
everyone
like
dies.
they really kind of let you see the extent of the destruction. Like it's very, very...
yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
There's a great moment where there's one shot where it pulls out and shows like the ever-expanding circle of the impact.
That's so true.
And I'm just like, holy shit, everything's just fucked. Like really. And they...
Almost like an A-bomb. Like seriously, just...
Yeah.
Whoosh,
and I think because of the way it's led up to it, I think they did a really nice job of kind of tempering our expectations that maybe, the problem is, correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
I don't remember the promotional material very much. I should have watched the trailer.
It showed it.
It showed that it was...
It showed it.
Yeah, it was...
Of course it did.
Shit was
going down. It was a
down.
money shot. It didn't show the extent of what we see in the film, but it shows the Empire State blowing up. It shows the White House blowing up and people running. And apart from that, a lot of the aerial gunfights, the dog fights in the air, it shows that stuff. But apart from that, you don't see much in there.
I could have just... could you imagine though? Could you imagine going into this movie and in the trailers it had just been aerial dogfights and maybe like a shot of the alien in the containment unit?
I think it's a lot of the sun getting blocked out by how massive
exactly.
the ships
I like show me the shot of it coming through the clouds, which I still love, by the way. I still think that shot is wonderful.
Yeah,
the rolling clouds and it just slides through. I think it looks so good. For a movie in 1996, where I could watch a movie made 3 weeks ago...
like Hurricane Heist.
Yeah, that would have the same thing and be like, well, that looks like garbage. Like, it looks... It does. It looks so well,
mint.
some of it.
It does look mint.
But just,
especially the vastness of the ships and how... Like, when Will Smith is getting ready to go or when you're looking at shots from it from different countries...
Yeah.
The way that they've done it is so good that there is no... Because it sucks up the entire shot, like this thing is massive.
It shows its scale really well.
Yeah, it makes its entirety huge.
There's that excellent shot, which is one of the first things I wrote. It's one of the earliest shots, which really was a very clever way to demonstrate its scale, is the satellite, where it just pans across, follows the satellite, and you see it, and it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then
the explosion is not big.
Because it... Yeah, it's not at all. And so it's a wonderful way to just kind of be like, you need to be fully aware of the scale of this.
Yeah.
Just one little visual cue. Very clever. Loved it a lot.
Very smart. That's very true.
Do you know, I reckon if you timed it out, first... Because I don't know exactly at what point in this movie the alien attack happened, so I'd say probably about 40 minutes into it. 30 to 40 minutes into it.
Yeah, sure.
Should we say? I'd love to, with a stopwatch, time how much of that is just people turning around and looking up. With looks of shock and awe on their face.
And that's what I think of every time I watch one of these films. And I turn to my wife and go, you realise we'd be running. We'd be underground already. If something like that is coming up, I'm like, yep, let's go.
Here we go.
See you later.
Time to go. Yep.
Time to go. There's no fussing around. Like, there's no fussing. We have to make a bunker. We have to make a...
What if you didn't have a bunker?
10 Cloverfield Lane style bunker.
Ah. Well, you never know. I mean, they had, 48 hours since the thing. I mean, you could get a lot done in 48 hours.
No, man, you got to, call the right people.
That's it.
You'll be fine. Get him to do it.
Yeah.
And then go, by the way, you're not allowed in my bunker. Why? Because of that thing. See that? Yeah, pass.
I wonder how hard it is to act that and try and do it authentically, though, because...
I love to pick out the ones that are like, oh, you're not earning your free lunch.
It's like all
you're not earning your free lunch.
Is imitating all the other ways you've seen it happen before. Like, there's only so many ways you can slowly turn to look at something and go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
when you see it.
Can we have that again? Just maybe look at this next time?
Yeah,
sure.
Try more awe, less shock.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Nice.
Bring back the shock. It wasn't quite enough shock now, and we want some more shock.
If you could run while you're doing that, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get a lot of those reactions in good ones. You get a lot of good ones in the Transformer movies. When people react to the Transformers beating the shit out of each other, there are people running. I think that's because Michael Bay does the explosions for real.
Well, that's probably, they probably fear for their life because they know he's a fucking lunatic. And they'll be like, I don't want to get third-degree burns.
Because I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair deal.
He just films his extras clearing out, and he's just like, because he doesn't tell them when they're about to go off, and he just films it, and he's like, yeah, run, you suckers.
We got it. We got the shot.
We got the shot.
We got the shot in.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman. Will Smith. Look, it's not that I didn't... And you know who else I love in this thing? I think Randy Quaid does quite a good job.
Randy Quaid doesn't... Randy Quaid just plays Cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's very true. That's very true. But the Jeff Goldblum's dad...
Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch, thank you. Amazing.
I think he's lovely.
I think he's such a great character.
It's a wonderful character, and it provides a little bit of comic relief, but then also at the same time. And this is partly why I'm defending this movie so much, is because it takes the time to have little things, and they don't feel obnoxious or
overdone
contrived.
Or overplayed. Exactly.
And I like, because it's just one line, and there's that beautiful scene where Jeff Goldblum is drunk, and he's, because... Tell me that's not the most human reaction to this that you could possibly ever have.
Oh, fuck it.
When it's like, oh, we're going to try and nuke the aliens and it didn't work.
I know.
Well, this bottle and me, we're going to make friends today, right?
And I love how, like, his ex kind of puts the bottle away. I'm like, who are you helping?
Yeah.
If anything,
puts it in the fridge, too. You don't put spirits in the fridge.
Who does that? And, unless it's vodka, you put that in the freezer. But still.
It's a brown liquor.
Yeah, exactly. But... If anything, have a drink. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you busy?
Well, this is
you're getting busy. Are you going to have to write?
That's my second favorite character moment. Actually, I think I might like that moment a little bit more. But to go back to Judd Hirsch just saying, I haven't spoken to God since your mother passed away, and I mean that's like that's it's one sentence. It's not too clunky. It's not too it's not trying to milk it. It's not trying to be overly sentimental. It's just a clean statement to say, hey man, we all kind of lose faith. Your mum's died and I haven't spoken to God, and it kind of sucks. Like, it's nice. The moment I really like with Jeff Goldblum and what's her name, Margaret Collin, where she says, "Don't you wish you could have been part of something special?" And he just smashes down the bottle. But like, it's just that one moment of like frustration, and then he puts the lid back on and says, "I was part of something special." Yeah. Obviously, talking about the two of them together.
Yep,
beautiful.
And leaves
nice.
it there. Yeah.
And
this is why I think of those two parts, and that's why the Jeff Goldblum storyline works for me so well. Like, there weren't those moments.
He's the best. Like
in this movie for me, like the Bill Pullman's wife dying. I thought that was a little bit. The emotion wasn't there. He was losing his wife. Like the thing, only because I related back to another film where a wife died. And the movie that really hit it home for me was Signs. M. Night's Signs.
Yeah, okay.
When his wife is about to pass away.
Sure.
And Mel Gibson walks up to the car, and the doctor says, "Look, she's not all there. Okay, just have some words with her, give her comfort." And he says to her, "Is this the last time I'm going to see my wife?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah."
Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong.
Fuck me, man.
I'm not saying that a movie like that's obviously a better moment, like I think it's kind of unfair to judge moments like that, because that movie
that kind of hinders on that relationship a lot more.
And it has all those flashbacks to the moments, and we know it's coming, and we know,
I know that,
and it builds like this. I think because. I'm not saying that it's like I don't think it works entirely. I think the most effective parts of that scene are actually come from his daughter,
yes,
who I think is really sweet. And there's the Mary. Is it Mary McConnell? Mary McDonald? McDonald.
You're talking about
who plays the wife?
The
first lady. Mary McDonald.
Bear with me. Keep talking.
God, from
Battleship. Yeah, Mary McDonald. Yeah.
Battlestar
from
Battlestar Galactica. That's what I meant.
From Donnie Darko. She plays Donnie Darko.
Yeah, Donnie Darko's mum. God, she's great.
She's fucking great.
But she has a beautiful moment too, where she's like, she's trying to be brave, and with the daughter there, and she knows that she's not well, and she's like, you got to take her. I can't do it.
I can't do it. Too.
And it's like, it's just so like, so it does have its moments, and I get what you're saying. I just, for me, it's kind of apples and oranges, because it's just kind of like, there are obviously scenes in other movies where people have had to say goodbye to their spouses that are more affecting, but for a sci-fi action film to take 2 minutes of its time and just quietly say goodbye to the main character's wife in a way that was quite nice and moving to a degree.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
worked for what it's
great. Thank you for just allowing this movie, and that's what I think. That's why there's plenty of that in this movie. Everybody gets, whether or not it's completely effective or not, everybody gets something, and gets the moments to have a bit of something. And I think that's nice. So because Will Smith and Vivica A. Fox. Yeah, get married, and it's kind of sweetened the relationship, and she gets to explain to the First Lady that it's not his kid, but I hope he wants the gig. Like there's nice stuff happening that
there is.
Usually
you don't get that, and that's what I like. I just didn't think it hit home as well as it could have.
Sure, and for sure.
But they gave it a chance. That's the thing. You don't get, and you're correct, you don't get that in a lot of movies. You don't get time to, in a 90-minute movie, you don't get time to find out who your characters are, because we've spent this amount of money on the special effects, so we have to show them off. So unfortunately, you're not going to get the character building scenes, which you do get in this.
But this is one of those cases where, because you know me, I'm usually all about 90 minutes in and out. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
This is sorry, excuse me. This is a movie that without the extended length, and because there's this chunk in the middle which is basically entirely character driven.
Yeah.
And building history and building relationships. Without that chunk, the finale is nowhere near as effective.
Yeah.
Yes, we could technically be without it, and we could have a 2-hour movie that is fun and aliens getting shot up.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I get quite emotional in the finale of this. I find it really difficult not to get emotional with some of these points. Okay. Like even with the fucking Randy Quaid shit. Like, just, tell my kids that I love them. Like dumb bravery makes me emotional, like always. I get emotional during the speech. I get emotional like when Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum kind of give up to a degree and go, if this is the way it's going to be, this is the way it's going to be. Let's smoke up the cigars. Like there's a quiet kind of acceptance of it, and I get emotional at that. Like but none of that would work. None of it would work unless the movie took that half an hour in the middle, half an hour 45, to just let the characters exist and breathe.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of cool. Whatever. 2.5 hours. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
Hang about. Yeah.
I like it. All right. I don't agree, but all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think there are versions of that movie that it's just here.
Do that and it doesn't work. Yeah, absolutely.
And here is, we don't let.
I just feel that
Armageddon is that. Armageddon is 2.5 hours where we've.
Completely agree. Once they get on the ship, Armageddon turns into nothing but one-liners.
Yeah,
and it is like, oh Jesus, there's a reason I don't watch this.
And they've expected us to bond with these characters because we've seen a montage of them having a party like the night before they leave.
Not at all.
And it doesn't achieve anything.
It doesn't achieve it. No, not at all. Whereas that has almost too many characters. Like you know of them. It gets to the point where a couple of them die, and you're like, oh, who's dead? I don't know who's dead. Oh, they're dead. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, rather than having small, not as many characters, but getting to know them a lot better.
Yeah.
Which is what I loved.
How do you feel? I'm going to ask some questions. I've got some questions for you.
Oh, I like questions.
I think that's because there's discussion points.
Yeah.
Here are some things that I think might be considered naff. I would like to hear your opinion on them.
Oh, sure.
And if you agree.
Okay.
Boomer, the dog.
Yes.
How do you feel about Boomer, the dog?
I think he's there for the kids.
Okay.
What I don't understand the question. What do I think about Boomer the dog?
Well, I mean, because I remember.
I think Boomer the dog was put in for the trailer.
Is that scene in the trailer?
That
shot in the trailer?
Of the dog jumping and the fire whizzing past, that is in the trailer.
Right.
I'm 95% sure.
What a great shot.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
No, I can tell that it's screen to the shit, but it's fine. It does its job. I think she is selling the shit out of it, which is great.
Vivica.
Yeah. I think she's doing really a boss job.
I think,
But as if like it's, how fast that fire is coming and her legging it out of that car.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's dead.
There's not really a correlation, a good correlation between the speed of the destruction and people getting away. That's one thing I've always been a bit kind of like,
hang on a minute.
It seems to be moving so quickly, yet slowly at the same time.
Yeah, but for some reason you can kick a door to the point where it's out and then you're fine. Like, yeah, I get what's happening.
But do you find, like, 'cause I think...
What do you think about Boomer the dog?
I love it.
You love Boomer?
Yeah.
Of course you do. But that's the thing, he's there for pet lovers, I think.
I think it's kind of clever in that destruction.
Wins.
Yeah, because you need a little win.
You need a win.
In that.
Yes,
you need something.
You do.
You know what I mean?
Because Boomer dying in that scene, that's not a fun movie.
And look, there are movies that go full on with their destruction in this, and it's like I always get shirty at movies that don't understand how affecting an animal death can be.
Oh, massive!
Like it's one thing that I get really kind of like you've got to be able to understand that, because if it does one of two things. If you save an animal amongst destruction and chaos, it means that you have a certain amount of hopefulness. You want to leave hope in your film.
Yeah.
If you kill an animal, you are removing hope, because it's an innocent.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to kill a baby.
Yeah.
So they will kill a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or kill an animal.
Kill an animal of some description.
So true.
And there's a lot of movies that think that it's okay to kill an animal and still try and be light. And it's no, you can't do that. You cannot do that.
No.
I think as soon as you do that, you're making a choice about your tone.
And it's not just correct. Because you're not going for, it's not gritty to kill an animal in a situation like that. You're right. It's almost like the canary down the mine. It's the hope that we have.
Yeah.
Canary down the mine is wrong term.
Analogy, but you are. That is a correct. That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
I don't understand the analogy, but
no, it's a wrong analogy. That's why. But you're killing off the hope of the film, which is very, very I like that.
I think
maybe Boomer does work. Maybe Boomer is in there for a reason, not just for the kiddies.
Even though there's some fucked up shit happening in this, I never feel like this is really a movie without hope. I always feel like that it is trying to be uplifting at all points and find the hope.
But I don't ever feel the fear in this or the urgency. I don't feel like there's anyone.
Maybe. Yeah. Is that a product of having seen it so many times?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, possibly.
Because you're right. I don't feel the threat anymore.
I feel the threat in the thing.
Yeah, but the thing is bleak as fuck. The thing kills the dog right up.
Right up. It's the first thing.
That's 100% almost the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It is a fucking dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Good example. The thing fucking,
yeah.
That movie, God, I fucking love that movie.
How good is that movie?
Yeah.
I can't believe you did, yeah.
It took me so long to see it.
I know.
And I love it sick. All right, so Boomer, you're on board for Boomer?
I'm on board for Boomer.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, especially, for what you've pointed out, not only is he a symbol of hope for the film, but he's also there so that we can have a win and kids can go, yeah, the dog won, yeah!
Well, could you imagine, as a 12-year-old?
Oh, Jesus.
What was I? What were we, 14?
14.
13, 14, yeah. Like, fuck, Jesus. Watching all that shit go down? This is like the first movie to really kind of fully encapsulate that kind of destruction.
Are you sure?
Are you going to talk about Terminator 2?
Thank you.
It's funny that you mention that because there is one shot in this that is very similar to Terminator 2.
It is. I know that it's with the palm trees.
Yeah.
That is a bleak film. That scene. Jesus, we watched that young. We watched that young.
As a kid, though, I don't think I ever really, because it was...
I didn't grasp the realness of how full on it is. Yeah,
because it's a nightmare, and I mean, there's that fucking she burns up on the cage and stuff. But yeah. For some reason, it didn't feel like a lived-in world. Like they whereas this, like you're sitting there going, well, that could just be the street down the road. Like, I could just be...
And
that could be Flinders Street Station.
Yeah, I love how when the destruction is done and Boomer and all of them come out and she finds the truck and whatever, the city is unrecognisable.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that it's not half-assed. Whereas, a little bit of building here, a little bit of building there.
It's not really addressed.
We'll be able to rebuild. It'll be fine. No. We're coming from scratch to this thing.
But that's, I think they show it, but they don't linger on it to make... Because if you spend too much time thinking about that, you cannot enjoy this film anymore.
Exactly.
Because it's like, oh my God. So let's say New York, probably I don't know this for a fact, but probably the most heavily populated area in the United States.
Probably.
Gone.
Yeah. Especially if that thing hits Empire State, from where New York is, the entire thing of Manhattan is gone.
So that's a lot of...
That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people.
It's a lot of dead people. So let's not... They don't want to dwell on it too much, but they'll show it. They'll show it in passing and make sure that you're aware of the destruction.
Yeah.
But I don't recall in this there being like a... Do they talk about like death tolls and stuff? They don't give numbers.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think they loosely say like millions of Americans, and it's just kind of like, let's just leave it vague enough.
They do it it's worldwide. It's, things like this, things like that. They show a couple of... It's more about the rioting on the streets at the start a little bit, and then you don't really get a sense of the populace or what's happening to them. Is War of the Worlds in this category?
Yes.
We've done War of the Worlds, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
We have.
Episode number 60?
No, it was earlier than that, surely.
52?
Maybe around the 50s?
50s?
Who knows?
I think it was around the 50s, because Man of Steel was around 50s.
Man of Steel was episode 50.
50. There you go.
So,
War of the Worlds? Is that sort of the similar
I would say so.
Yeah?
And you can see that this was influenced by it, because I think the whole idea of the giving it a cold...
Yeah,
I think
it's straight up War of the Worlds.
Yeah, and I think it's the 90s interpretation of it, which is weird that nobody in this movie acknowledges the fact that War of the Worlds exists.
You don't get it's too early in cinema history for that to happen. We haven't had that meta feeling yet.
No, good point.
We haven't had that.
Yeah,
Everything was the first movie to do that?
To acknowledge that other movies exist.
Last Action Hero.
Watching Last Action Hero now.
Fuck, I love that movie.
I can't imagine watching that in 1994. You wouldn't get your head around it. You'd just be like, what the fuck?
I loved it. Because I was there. I watched it.
We're so in tune to meta culture now.
Yeah.
God, it would have been a head fuck.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Especially when fucking T-1000 rolls out. You're like, oh, shit.
It's probably like I mean, this isn't a fucking inside. Like, everyone knows this. That's obviously why it wasn't successful. If that movie came out now... Yeah. It'd be like Cabin of the Woods style. It would be like, it's Cabin of the Woods, but for action movies.
So true, man. So true.
Yeah, ridiculous. Anyway,
Last Action Hero.
What else?
What's your other questions?
I got a few.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Harry Connick Jr. character?
I like him.
I
really like him. But
do you think it's weird that they're like cracking gags and stuff
during
because they're having that briefing? And it's literally the scene after half the country or like New York City's been destroyed.
Yeah.
And they're cracking wires and like having gags and stuff. And it's like, let's just get up there and kick some alien ass.
I think, to be honest,
it's a bit strange.
It's not spoken of, but I think they're just trying to keep the morale up. The fact that we have a chance. We have a chance. We can totally have a chance.
I got this weird feeling that maybe it's filmed out of sync. Like maybe that scene was originally going to be a little bit earlier before anything really drastic happened.
Yeah,
maybe.
Fair deal. That would make more sense. Especially because of how they're reacting. Because he does. He's cracking wires and loving jokes.
It's strange. And because also Will Smith has to assume that his girlfriend and the son is kind of somewhere caught up in that.
Yeah. Hopefully alive.
He's just kind of hoping that they're going to be alive. Very strange.
I did like that bit. He just takes off. That's actually that did hit home a little bit. That scene where Will Smith kind of gets the news of what's happened, and from the general, territory, whatever. And he's just sitting there, and he goes, "You know what? Who's going to stop me taking this fucking helicopter?
Yeah,
I'll bring it back. I promise.
Yeah,
look,
just
I'll be back.
What did he say? Say I
punched you. And the guy's like 6'5".
Yeah, I love it.
And he's like, "What?
Yeah, not a chance, buddy.
I love it.
Yeah, I like Harry Connick Jr. He's a nice energy. I actually think he should have been around a little bit longer, to be honest.
I think he should keep acting. I want to see him in more. I love him in Copycat. I think he's fucking
I really
great.
like him as an actor. I think he's a great actor.
He's great.
He's got really interesting qualities. His line delivery is always so interesting.
And he can change it up, man.
Yeah. Can you just tilt your mic in a little bit more for me? You're just getting a little bit of distance from it.
There we go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hey, gang. Yeah, I love Harry Connick Jr. and the character. He's like a modern day Goose. Goose and Maverick.
You're right.
It was golden.
Goose.
I loved it. Goose. Let's watch Top Gun. No, fuck it. Let's watch Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
I prefer Days of Thunder.
God,
yeah.
That's I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest.
We'll do it eventually.
All right, how do you feel about the 90s-ness of everything?
It is very 90s. I hadn't watched a 90s in a while. That was a good sentence, wasn't it? It does well. Like, always before watching a film that has had some time pass, I always put my head in that mindset. Look, you're not going to get Civil War. You know, you're not going to get that amazingness. But I'm not after that in a 90s movie, in my mindset. Like, I'm hoping that kids nowadays, if they see, Independence Day Resurgence, this is actually a sequel. Maybe I'll watch the first one. And then they'll watch it and go, this is shit, past. Like, I've had guys at work go, yeah, I'm not watching that. It's really fucking old. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're going to miss some amazing things. Like,
100%.
So for
it's
me,
a terrible mentality to have, and I do not support it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Jack, we're talking to you, by the way, if you're listening.
What's up, Jack?
But yeah, for this holds up for me. It's not that much 90s in this, apart from like wardrobe or quick jokes that are in there.
Yeah, I don't really notice the wardrobe too much.
Apart from that,
the technology, I think, is a little jarring at points.
But still, it's fine. It's not that bad. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
No, and it's not. Look, it's not that bad. It's not. It's
not pulling me out.
No, you look at like the read-up displays of like the laptops and things like that, and they're very quaint, and it's a bit kind of like it's a bit funny, and
that's cute.
Like the fact that the virus comes up with the skull and crossbones on the alien ship, and it's kind of just like that kind of stuff.
That was 90s, yeah.
Well, because that's what that's what we all thought the internet was going to be, and computers. Like we probably for watching that stuff in 1996, you were probably like, wow, look at that computer screen, look at all that shit it can do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I still do that when I see Inspector Gadget. If I watch an episode of Inspector Gadget and I see Penny's book that she opens up and it's got all like flickering lights and gadgets, I'm like, I fucking wanted that book. I wanted that book so badly.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember having a flashing light up book.
I'm going to bring up.
I'm going to have to Google that shit.
I'm sure it's a fucking meme. No, a GIF. And
GIF of some description.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, do it.
Keep going.
No, well, because I was asking you.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, apart from that, like it's not in your face as something like Wall Street. Because I know when watching that not that long ago, I looked at that and said, "Wow, this is a full period piece."
Yeah, right.
This is full period. Like you're not going to get away from it anymore. Independence Day, it's still going to. There's not too much pulling you out. Does that make much sense?
Yeah, no, good. Well, because I'm glad, because I was watching it thinking that would be an easy... It would be an easy way to find something that would pull you out of it.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't care. I actually find it charming as fuck and I love it. But I could see people watching it and struggling to maintain, like... not their focus, but struggling to keep a connection to the story because of all the 90s-ness, and it would keep breaking out because you feel suddenly jarringly affected by the fact that the fucking
what are you on? What's going on?
Sorry. He's, when he turns around his laptop screen and it's like the countdown is like, it's like an app window or something, and it's weirdly got like a phone attached to his laptop and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is weird. It is, on the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, all that kind of stuff, because it's, it happens in everything, and it's always going to happen whenever you have movies that feature technology.
Yeah.
This is the one where I was watching, I was like, I hope this doesn't ruin it for people.
Yeah. I don't think so. Not that much to the point where it hurts the film.
Did you notice that the thing that they attached to the alien spaceship to send the signal just looked like a giant cock.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? I love that they got mentioned like 2 seconds, and I'm like, hang on a minute. You can't just breeze past that. What was that?
How is nobody making mention of the fact that it's just like, this thing looks like a big old penis? What are we doing here? Couldn't we have put something else up here?
Anything else? No? We're going to go with it. Okay, fair
We're going with the penis?
We're going with the penis.
Props department, we're happy with this?
We're going with penis?
No one else thinks it looks like a big old shaft?
No.
All right, cool.
Couldn't make it look like someone else? Maybe a small box? No?
Just a box would have done the job.
A box would have done the job.
Yeah.
No? Okay, we're going with cock. Might as well put some balls on. Fuck it.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like, this is the receiver and these are our power generators.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, complete with the balls as well.
Fair deal. That's hysterical. That is fucking hysterical.
The
questions? I like questions.
That was pretty much it.
That's pretty much it?
Yeah.
All right,
I like the... I think the entirety of the final battle, which is pretty fucking great. Like, from...
It's not...
From Bill Pullman's speech to the end,
yeah,
I think it all works.
I think sorry about that.
That's all right.
I think the dogfight could have been a little better.
Sure.
I think it's a little bland, if anything.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I do. I love the calling out the missiles. Fox 3, 2, fire.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's kind of cool. I don't mind that. But apart from that, it's a little bit too... I would have liked a bit more, I don't know, action with dogfights.
Sure. Is that a product of the available technology, you reckon?
No,
at that time?
because if you look at Top Gun does it, and it's earlier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And you're not getting... There's no CG in Top Gun. They are planes.
Yeah, well, I mean...
You know? And you do... It's just... You have a more sense of urgency in Top Gun.
Sure.
Oh my God, he's going to get me. Oh my God, he's going to get me. Whereas this... Because it's so much happening at once...
You feel like there's maybe... It's too busy.
It's too busy.
Yeah, sure.
It's too much of a wash. That doesn't mean that a scene like that can't happen. Whereas going back, and I can't believe I'm going to reference this, episode 3 of that would be called Revenge of the Sith, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sure.
The start of that is a mad dogfight, and you don't see shit, and you're like, what is going on? I can't see anything. And you feel a sense of urgency in that. I felt it more in Revenge of the Sith. Whatever it's called, it doesn't matter. It's shit.
100%.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a wash for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's not to say that even though I'm not a fan of his acting, he lands that speech 100%. He lands it like hard.
The speech is great.
Such a great speech. Going from that, Randy going up into the vagina, I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that.
It gets me because it's just, like I said, like the moments of courage in these kind of films, I find that's my real weak spot.
I think it's because I don't like his lines. I'm back. I don't like that.
That bit's dumb. I don't, like that bit doesn't do it for me. It's more...
If he had just gone, say goodbye to my kids, rang, and just hit it, I would have been like, yeah, man.
But, we have to... Yeah, there has to be the line. And I don't hate it. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't hate it. I think based on what they've set up with him as a character, it suits his character and it's fine.
Yeah.
But, in moments like that, though, it's not just what they do. It's the reactions from the people around them as well. Like, so it's the way that, like, Bill Pullman's there and he's got the shot. And he's ready to go. And it's like, no, we're going to be able to do it. We're going to be able to do it. And he shoots. And he hits the guardrail thing, and it's like, fuck. It's anyone else got a missile, and it's like, it's that moment where it's like, I don't know if anyone's got the missile. And then in comes Randy Quaid. And there's that, you can't help but be a little bit, because everyone does it, and everyone gets excited. Everyone goes, oh, fuck, all right, we got another shot at it.
Yeah.
And, like, it's the way that I think what Emmerich actually does really well is that he keeps the adrenaline up in you because he shows everybody else's adrenaline as well.
Yeah.
So he doesn't just make it about the action that's happening. He makes sure that he shows how Bill Pullman's reacting to it, how they're reacting down at the fucking Area 51.
Yeah.
How everybody is willing everybody on, and so we become like Randy Quaid's son, basically.
Yeah.
Down there, watching it from down there and feeling all the energy, feeling the excitement and that kind of like the moment where it's like, oh, we're going to do it. Oh, fuck, it didn't work. Oh, we've got another shot. Oh, we can do it.
Oh, it didn't work.
Oh, he's going to have to sacrifice himself. Like, I think that he really captures the vibes of those really well, and we get to have those moments with them all.
Yeah.
I think it works really well.
Okay.
Like, so I get what you're saying on a visual level, I might not dig physically what's happening, but I think emotionally, I think he really nails that entire whole sequence.
Yeah, fair deal.
Mostly because all the hard work's done. Like, we know the characters so well.
Yeah.
We're on their side. We want them to succeed. We know what they have been through. And so it all has emotional weight to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if, like you said, even if it, like, as far as an aerial dogfight goes, it's fine.
Yeah, fair
like, and I'm not really that fussed by that, to be honest. Like, I've seen better, of course.
Yeah.
But I've seen a ton worse.
Yeah, I've seen a ton worse.
And I've seen better ones where I don't give a shit about the people in it. And so maybe it's like, we've talked about this before. I think I want more. I want to be emotionally invested more.
Yeah.
So it could be pretty boring and lame dogfight. But if I care about the characters, I think I'd always prefer to watch that over a well choreographed one, because then it just becomes it's like a stunt reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like a special effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair deal.
Yeah,
okay. I just thought of a question.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid's daughter, who is in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
When things get going and they have to move, or they're getting pissed off with Randy Quaid and they go, we're leaving.
Yeah.
And they leave. She's in the car with her boyfriend, and she says, we may not see each other again. I don't want to die a virgin.
Yeah.
And then she leaves, and it's another guy, and she doesn't want to die. She just wants to get laid. That's it. Is it a different
I think
guy?
You saw the extended version then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I?
Because the second guy is not in the theatrical version.
Ah. I saw decent.
Yeah.
So,
did you get the scenes with?
She just wants to get laid.
Did you find out about Randy Quaid's son, that he's sick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that he's not their real dad?
Yes.
None of that's in the original version.
Oh.
That's all extended version stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
So I watched the extended version.
You did watch the extended version. You know, it's funny. The extended version, not as good.
Oh.
I reckon.
Yeah, theatrical. Sometimes it can hit on the money.
Look, it's only 9 minutes different, but I think a lot of your pacing issues that you're talking about, I reckon, are in that 9 minutes.
I fucking knew it.
Because I remember I've seen, because I've got the DVD that's the anniversary edition, and it's got the extended thing on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And for a little while I watched that one all the time, and then I went back and was like, oh no, I like this much better without that shit in there.
Yeah, fair deal.
Because all it really does, it extends Randy Quaid's character.
Yes.
Unnecessarily so.
Yeah. Because
I don't think we need that extra information.
Do I get more of the president? I feel I get more of the president.
Very little.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. We should do a segment like that, preferring the theatrical over the directors.
There are plenty that I do.
Tons.
Yeah. Longer does not mean better.
What comes to mind for me majorly is Prince of Thieves, Tyson.
Oh, I could spend hours watching Prince
of
Thieves.
Yeah, I know you could, but the theatrical version is way better.
Yeah, I'll have to double check. I can't even remember what's not.
I'm pretty sure I only have the director's cut of that.
It's all you can get on DVD at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
There is a crappy vanilla DVD that has.
Pass. What about the Blu-ray? Does the Blu-ray have both versions?
No, the Blu-ray is just the extent. Oh, it might have the original as like a special feature, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, or the choice to watch either version.
I love it. I love it in some. Like at some point, we got to a point where we're no, we're not going to give them both versions. We're not going to give them both versions. Instead, we'll just make the original cut like a special feature.
Yeah.
So you have a whole film as a special feature.
Well, for a little while, the only way you could watch the original Star Wars movies was as a special feature.
Which I have.
On those DVDs. Yeah, those are...
Which is what I've watched.
They're the only ways to do it,
It's the only way you can do it.
Hang on to those motherfuckers.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Yeah. Sam wanted to watch it for the first time. She was like, yeah, let's watch it. Because she wanted to watch the Family Guy spoof, Blue Harvest.
Yeah.
She wanted to watch them. And I'm like, you don't have any reference. You can't just watch that.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, well, let's watch Star Wars. I was like, oh, fuck.
Here we go.
All right, well, how do we watch them? And I said, no, you're watching the 70s version. You're watching the movies that we grew up with without all the extended
Without all
shit.
that nonsense. Get it all gone. Get it gone.
Piss off.
Well, I think we can probably get close to wrapping this up.
Independence Day.
I did want to say, last couple of things.
Yeah. Sequel. Mention. Is the sequel good? Should I watch it? Jeff Goldblum is in it.
Yeah, look, I think you can watch it because there are some interesting ideas in it.
Okay. Do they come back? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. So
With a vengeance.
So there's what ends up happening is that they incorporate we as a society, humans, have learned to incorporate their technology. So we've advanced as a culture much faster than we would have without them.
Decent.
But that's an interesting idea that they don't really do enough with.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman has been, because of his psychic link with the alien. Has gone a bit crazy.
Oh, okay.
And it's really affecting him. That's an interesting idea that they don't really run with either.
Okay.
It's a movie full of potentially exciting ideas that don't really work.
That they don't pull through.
And there is also the idea of a secondary alien species that are actually protectors against these aliens, which is another great, interesting idea. They don't really run with it.
Come on, man.
Look,
really?
It's got some pretty wild special effects in it. There are some scenes of destruction that they do stuff that I hadn't seen before, which I found really interesting.
I like that.
And it really kind of did a number on me when I was watching it, because I was like, I can't visually. My brain is really struggling to process what you're showing me.
Yeah.
And I got really strange sense of vertigo watching some of the stuff in it.
Decent.
But it's missing all of the things that make this movie work, I think.
All of the staying with the characters, getting to know them.
They are so empty character wise. It's good to have Jeff Goldblum back again and Bill Pullman back again, like they do, but they're secondary characters now. And
oh, really?
It's just all the good moments that work in this that make you care about any of the other stuff is missing from the sequel. So it's worth watching, I guess.
That trailer sucked me in, though. The way that they used his original speech as background music to what was happening.
Yeah.
I was like, spot on, guys. Yeah. Well, that's how you make a trailer. Well done.
Yeah. I do want to watch it again, because I saw it at the cinema and I came away pretty disappointed, but thinking that it was kind of okay, and I was just like, whatever.
That's because you watched this one quite a lot, Ty.
Yeah,
so it's like
I think now that I've watched this one again and quite enjoyed it, I'm scared that I'm going to rewatch it and actually hate it more. But I feel like it's just worth revisiting again, just to kind of see if maybe, because with more familiarity, fresher familiarity with this one again, whether I'll take a little bit more out of it.
Nice.
But it's just, Roland Emmerich has kind of, I just feel like he's lost a lot of what made him effective back in the day. And that is the stuff like the smaller character beats. Because we do think of him now as just kind of this
mash of special effects and no story.
Yeah.
Like, especially after Day After Tomorrow. Is that what it was called?
Day After Tomorrow is...
Like, there was nothing to that. Nothing. I got so bored so quickly.
I used to like Day After Tomorrow, but it's the beginning of the descent for him, 100%.
And you can see, you would understand why, though. Like, we'll give Roland Emmerich some more money if he wants to make another disaster film. But the thing is, we have to make it shorter. And
Day After Tomorrow is pretty close to 2 and a bit hours, I think, as well.
Oh, really?
It's an epic.
If we're giving you this amount of money, we want to see what we're getting on screen. We want to see what our money is paying for.
I find it strange that it was like he basically just became that guy, though. Like, it's such an odd choice.
Why would you go for a disaster genre? Like, what the fuck?
Because especially especially after The Patriot, which is, I think is pretty underrated. Like, it gets forgotten about. It's no Braveheart, but it treads similar ground and does it, like, I think pretty much as effectively.
Yeah.
There are some killer battle scenes in The Patriot. Like, really, really great, well choreographed. He knows how to direct a moment of action very well. Like, he knows how to make it important.
Who was the villain in Jason
Isaacs. God,
I remember the villain being really...
He's one of the guys. He's
really
one who
bad.
really you want to wring his neck. Yeah. And he gets a good one. He gets a good death. Yeah.
Oh, don't spoil it for me. I haven't seen it in ages.
He's the bad guy.
I know.
But so to go from that, but I feel bad for him because he has tried to make movies that aren't that, that aren't his typical thing.
Yeah.
But they always do so badly.
What was 10,000 BC? Did you see that? Did you hear anything?
I've tried to watch it and I turned it off pretty quickly because it was the CGI was really unbearable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Maybe I'll give it a watch.
But yeah, like, I mean, he's got a... He's got a movie about the Stonewall riots. Like,
yeah, I know.
He made that movie about the guy that might have been a ghostwriter for Shakespeare. Like, he's tried to do other things, but no one gives a fuck.
None of us actually looked really decent when the trailer came out, and I was like, oh, it didn't. A friend of mine saw it and went, yeah, don't watch that. Don't watch that. But White House Down? Come on. That's moving away from
I guess, yeah, like it is moving away, you're right, but it still relies very heavily on like action destruction and is not it's the characters are not well drawn. They're not
really?
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't give it the opportunity to flesh it out.
There's a sequel, isn't there, White House Down?
No, you're thinking of Olympus Has Fallen, which I think is a much better movie.
It's the twin.
It's
the twin movies. We did that.
We did do that.
Yeah.
I like Olympus Has Fallen because I feel like it's a really like leans into its hard R rating. Like it's
really?
a fucking action movie.
Oh,
whereas London Has Fallen is garbage.
You mean White House Down?
No, as in the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen. Because you were saying, does that have a sequel? No. Olympus Has Fallen has a sequel, which is called London Has Fallen. They're doing another one as well.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Jared Butler will just do anything these days. He just needs to work.
What the fuck happened?
I reckon. Do you know what? I don't reckon he's well because he does not look well.
Where did that come from?
Watch Geostorm. He looks unwell.
Well, he's aged a bit.
Not that much.
It's been a while since 300. What year was 300?
2005, I want to say, or maybe 2004.
Yeah, man.
15
he
years.
wasn't young when he did 300.
No, but he's not 60. He looks... Anyway, the poor guy.
Hey, man, he's probably doing fine. He's doing better than Mickey Rourke, I'm telling you.
No, good point.
Independence Day 3,
My
Tyson.
fucking old leather shoe is doing better than Mickey Rourke in the looks department.
Your old leather shoe. Independence Day 3, it's been announced.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think they pulled the plug on it because 2
really?
was such a...
2 died in the arse?
It did not do well, like, box office-wise, because it was reviewed terribly.
Oh, really?
And so I think it had a big for opening weekend, but it just fell in.
Like,
no one gave a shit after it. Yeah.
Pass.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Well, 2 ends with a bit of a cliffhanger.
Oh.
And I just don't think we're ever going to see.
Well, maybe Independence Day 3 will be straight to Netflix.
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe indeed.
Shall we wrap it up?
That's it. Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Loving it, sick.
Independence Day, man. I'm going to watch it again. It is. It's an easy watch. That's the thing.
So easy. It's a great Saturday afternoon movie.
Saturday afternoon. What's a good Saturday afternoon? No, Saturday afternoon for me is Teen Wolf.
Oh, all right. Specific. I like it.
I'm feeling it. I watch Teen Wolf.
And only Teen Wolf. Between the hours of 3 and 5 on a Saturday.
You know what? No, you know what? Oh, you know what a Saturday afternoon is? Saturday afternoon is Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh.
You're talking to me. That's another one, Tice. Theatrical versus director's cut. I need to see the theatricals of those again. They're not as good. I probably won't rate them as good, but I need to watch the theatrical of the...
I'm not sure if I can be bothered watching them again, to be honest. Like,
what does that mean?
Well, because it's like, if I'm going to watch them, I want the whole experience. I feel like watching the theatrical version is like eating half a meal.
Yeah, good point.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, well,
should we move on
let's move on to what did you watch this week? All right.
That was a strange one.
That was a strange one. I like to make them strange. I like to make them strange.
Who doesn't? I say. Nick.
Did you watch anything, Tyson?
I've watched a shit ton of stuff, man.
Shit ton?
Yeah. I've actually watched a few things. Did you watch anything?
I have watched one.
One thing? What did you watch?
I've watched one. Should we do my one and your 2?
Yeah.
You want 2?
Yeah, I'll probably just do 2.
Okay. Tyson, I watched Solo, a Star Wars story.
Interesting.
I watched Star Wars because I need a refresher from Saw, and I was like, "What? He's going to punch me out of this Saw bullshit." You know what? You know what? It's going to be Solo. I've given it a shot, and Tice, I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it, and I rate it a little better than The Last Jedi. Now, this is controversial.
Get out of town. But, no, it's like this is the I think...
This is the play only because, and coming at it from a film, I'm going to say a film fan.
Yep.
I can see why I liked it better. Because going into The Last Jedi, it was Rian Johnson. He could do no bad in my mind.
Sure.
It was the return of Luke Skywalker, and it was the next sequel to something I was so excited for. And that trailer just got me buzzed. Whereas Solo got the shit torn out of it. And everyone was like, this is shit. This is just ticking boxes. This is just, hey, this is how he meets Chewie. Hey, this is how he gets his gun.
Yeah.
Hey, this is how he gets a Millennium Falcon.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
This is... But it did it with such a gleaming smile on its face that I loved it. I really did. It was such an.
It was
adventure for me.
unapologetically so. Like,
it was so cute.
You're right.
I thought it was great. I just had it was just entertaining for me.
It was, yeah. I found it reasonably entertaining enough. It is by far and away the least favorite of these new Star Wars
Rogue
films.
One over this motherfucker?
Easy.
Jesus.
I think the good stuff in Solo, which there is plenty of good stuff in it. I think Eric Aldenheim, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
I think he's excellent. Like I really liked him a lot. And I think there's enough surprises. I think Woody Harrelson's cool in it.
Woody Harrelson is cool.
There's enough surprises along the way that you
Childish Gambino does badass as Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's fun.
He is so good. The swagger on him is badass.
Yeah, he is full of swagger. I think it all ends up amounting to very little to me. And I think now that because especially I think due to Rogue One and Last Jedi, we are living in a world that Star Wars is bigger now, like is dealing with bigger ideas.
Sure.
Or is capable of dealing with bigger ideas. And trying to have some really interesting thematic things to say.
Sure.
That I'm less interested in what Solo represents.
Yeah, fair deal.
Solo is just a run-of-the-mill fun adventure film.
Yeah,
sure.
Which is what I wanted.
That's fine.
And it was. It's not going to impact on anything. It's not going to tell you anything you don't know.
Sure.
Don't already know. I love the little Amelia twist at the end and things like that, which was great.
Yeah, great.
It was a barrel of fun.
Yeah, and that's it. I think you can take enjoyment out of this happily if that's what you want Star Wars to be for you.
Because it was so low on the bar for me. I was going in going, ha, this is going to be shit.
Oh, and also, I mean, you can never underestimate the how low expectations can change a viewing experience. Because if I go in with real low expectations and then half enjoy it, I end up kind of getting defensive and being like, hey, no, I'm going to stick up for this thing because it's not that bad. That's why I own fucking 47 Ronin or whatever it's called, and I've seen that movie multiple times.
Exactly. Me sticking up for Cabin Fever is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Hey, Cabin Fever's not that fucking bad. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Movies get ripped apart, and if
They
I watch
do.
them and find merit in them, I start to really kind of stick up for them.
Waterworld. I love Waterworld.
Yeah, people are coming around on Waterworld, I think, man.
what?
Yeah, I think
Really?
the tide has turned.
Oh my god.
Pun intended. That's the worst.
He does love a pun. But yes, I watched Solo.
Nice. Well, and
I
so
liked it.
with this new, apparently, the third of the Star Wars movies, of this new trilogy, they're going to be more in line with that kind of vibe. That they're leaving behind these big ideas to tell a more straightforward,
Well, I don't want that.
space adventure film.
Just because Last Jedi didn't work for me, doesn't mean that it didn't work for you.
Well, I'm more disappointed by that because I want...
You want some Star Wars with some risk.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah. And why shouldn't you?
It was... Like last, and I didn't even think I knew that that's what I wanted Star Wars to be until I saw it. But after seeing Last Jedi, I was like, no, this is what I want my Star Wars movies to be because
you want it to be game changing, kind of.
I think it lends
changing
them
the characters that you know.
Well, yeah, I want characters to obviously. I like the idea that everything has stakes and all characters have the potential to change in ways that we don't think they should.
Yeah.
Because it's not our decision to make about the characters. It's the story's decision. But to me, it lends itself more to kind of harder sci-fi ideas. Like, and calling Star Wars sci-fi is probably a little bit.
Star Wars is kind of its own genre now.
It's not really. It's more. It's like space opera. Action adventure. Yeah, it's not Star Trek. Star Trek is sci-fi. Like, I like that. It's not leaning towards. But all good sci-fi has. It's not just about technology. It's about heavy intellectual kind of ideas. And people might fucking scoff and say there's not really anything heavily intellectual about The Last Jedi, but I think there is quite a lot to chew on in it.
Yeah,
and that's I like that stuff.
It was
Whether or not you disagree with the story or where it went or what they did to the characters or how they told the story, I think it's undeniable that there's stuff in that's really weighty and really dealing with stuff that you can have a pretty serious conversation about.
Yeah, fair deal.
And I like that. I like that in my Star Wars movies. Yeah, it turns out I do.
Okay. I like it.
Not the prequels, though.
Not the prequels?
No.
Well, no one's liking the
I don't
prequels.
give a fuck about whatever they
who's liking
say.
the prequels?
People do. People coming around on the prequels, my man.
Oh, fucking hell. People aren't coming around on the prequels. These people need to be shot.
No, they're okay. They can really like what you like, people.
Please leave them.
But I'm not.
Have you heard of watching them, what is it? The Machete Way?
Yeah, the weird order where you watch, what do? You watch
New Hope, Empire Strikes Back,
then go back
Phantom,
into the prequels.
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then you watch Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's probably a great way to watch it, to be honest.
It's a nice way to watch them.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about how Clark is going to watch them. Is he going to watch them? Because there's no point watching them 1, 2, 3.
You should watch them. You should watch them that way. I actually think it's the best way to watch it because you get the reveal of
Darth Vader.
And then it's almost like you get to do a
retrospective,
a flashback kind of episodes. Like it feels more like how they would tell it if it was long form television. Yeah, that's how they'd do it. Like the end of Empire would be the end of the first season.
Exactly.
Season 2 would be the flashbacks, and then season 3 would be Return of the Jedi to a degree.
Exactly.
It's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah, fair deal.
I'm just going to talk about one thing because I've been watching a ton of stuff and I've been catching up on a lot of stuff. But
nice.
But it'll all kind of come up, I think, in end of year lists and things like that. So I do want to talk about a movie that is.
Have you been doing movies this year, Tice? Is that what you've been doing?
I've watched a couple of movies from this year. Yes.
Nice.
Because they're all starting to come onto streaming and rental and stuff now. So I'm just kind of, although I went out to the cinemas for this one. Ooh. Yeah, there's a movie that a lot of people are talking about at the moment. I saw A Star Is Born.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And how was it?
It's good. I have pretty massive reservations to call it anything better than good.
Okay.
I think
is good, though.
But it is definitely good.
Okay.
I was maybe a victim of expectations a little bit because obviously I sat down being like, people are losing their minds over this movie and I can't wait to see it because the trailer is probably one of the best trailers I've seen in my fucking lifetime. It is a fucking trailer and a half.
Yeah.
And it didn't really hit the mark for me.
Yeah.
Especially on an emotional level, I think it was made for me, really. It was.
Well, that's what I've heard. I served a lady who came out of the cinema at my work who had literally come out of watching A Star Is Born. She asked me the first thing before saying hello. She asked me for a tissue.
Yeah, and there were
full
people
effects,
audibly weeping through this movie, and unfortunately, it didn't. And man, you know me. I cry in dumb shit. Like I cry in a lot of movies. I get really emotionally invested in movies.
Yeah.
I unfortunately didn't get the emotional reaction that I would have liked. And it's nobody's fault. Like I don't think it's the movie's fault, but it's just the way that it was structured and the way they decided to tell this story didn't have didn't resonate with me as much as I would have liked it to. I think. As a movie that has so much to say about music and the music industry, I think it's. I don't think it does that very well.
Yeah.
I think it wants to kind of say a lot about the idea of authenticity in music.
Okay.
Which is something that I think we're in a really interesting place at the moment musically. Like the entirety of the music world, I think has a real issue with authenticity. Because if you think about the idea of what kind of people artists are, and what they present is not an authentic version of who they are creatively.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot to say about that, but is also very inauthentic in its display of it, which I found kind of hypocritical, and I was a bit kind of like, that's a bit dumb. Like it's just not, and it alienates me as someone who cares about that kind of stuff, and it made it hard for me to connect.
Yep.
I think Bradley Cooper's some of his directional directorial choices are really interesting, and sometimes they work exceptionally well. Sometimes they do not work at all.
Yeah. This is his first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He has a tendency to isolate or try and separate his audience a little bit too much, and instead of kind of letting them into the scene, he's very hesitant to allow us at times to be kind of to be with the actors or the characters, I should say.
Yeah.
And then other times he tries to make us too close to the actors, and we don't get to experience what they're experiencing because all we can see or all we can feel is them. He just makes some really odd choices with the way he frames things, and then other times he's on the money 100%. Sometimes he's fucking nailing it.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper, I've got to say, is like legendary. Like
I heard his voice is pretty good.
Oh, he can sing, man. He can sing.
Okay.
His performance is something else. Like it really, really is. I don't get Lady Gaga. Don't get it. I've never gotten it. I've always felt like she's a contrived performer.
Right.
I've just always felt that way. I don't know what it is. I can't connect with her as a performer.
Yeah.
And it turns out that I feel very similar with her as an actress. Yeah,
fair deal.
It felt forced. Quite a lot of it felt forced.
Right.
The only times that she felt comfortable to me was when she was singing.
Yeah, obviously in her element sort of thing.
But as a character stuff, she did, like, sometimes it was really nice, sometimes it was lovely, but generally I just thought she was fine. Okay. And it was similar to some other good, like...
Crossroads.
Yes, it was like Britney. Yeah, Britney doing Crossroads. I'd put them on par. No, that's not it at all. I just don't, like, I think she did some really nice work, some not so very nice work that showed her limitations, and I really wanted to like it more, and I wanted to like her more, and it never quite got there. So it's like a solid, like, 3-ish stars for me.
Okay, out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair deal.
Yeah.
A solid 3.
Yeah.
2.5 maybe.
No, I'm leaning more towards 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Definitely worth watching. And it's funny because so many people that I've spoken to who are emotionally connected to it and are just like, oh, didn't you just? And I'm like,
I wanted to see it. I was going to see it. Unfortunately, I'm putting it in the
it'll come later.
Moulin Rouge Finding Nemo category, where so many people have told me to see it, and now I'm telling all of those people to get fucked, and I will not see this thing ever.
Well, it's gonna feature come Oscars time.
Yeah,
so you will end up watching it at some point, no doubt.
At the end of this fucking
yeah. And hopefully by then a bit of the hoo-ha will have cooled down.
Hopefully. Because people are throwing even the soundtrack in my face, and I'm like, yep, I hear you.
There are some nicely written songs.
Nice songs.
There are some awfully written songs.
Okay.
But there's one or two that are pretty fucking great.
Okay. Because I'll take my cue from you, Tice, because Sing Street kind of hit the mark as songs did, and if this thing doesn't have a waiver to those songs, then why am I in?
It's funny because
it's a movie about writing music. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? So the songs better be fucking decent.
I think that being such a huge fan of John Carney and what he does hurts my enjoyment of A Star Is Born, because I don't think A Star Is Born comes anywhere near as close to understanding music and the connection that music can have between two people and how it can, like, because it's a love story. 100% it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a love story not only on a personality level, but it's one that's rooted in music.
Yeah.
And it's talking about how that can combine. There is nothing in it that is as effective as What's in Once or Begin Again or Sing Street. He understands that. Yeah. He understands that better than any other director I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
Is how music and love almost coexist, and how they can,
make each other stronger.
Yeah. And so I think, knowing those films makes some of what they try to do in Star Is Born, I think, less effective.
Fair deal.
All
right.
Yeah, which is a bummer.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah. Okay.
I could be completely talking out of my ass though. So it's funny. It just left me slightly colder than I thought.
Yeah, it depends what you like.
Yeah.
You know, one person's trash is another man's treasure.
But see, I know a lot of people that watch once and don't feel anything and just think it's boring. And
I'm sitting there. I still haven't watched any of it. I don't know what happens, and it hasn't been spoiled for me. And I'm going to give it a shot.
I find the love story in Once so much more moving than the love story in A Star Is Born. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But that's just me.
So I'm going to have to watch this thing for the Oscars. Is that what you're telling me?
I think so. It's going to get nominated for some stuff.
Are you
Bradley
fucking
Cooper
serious?
like should fucking win.
What?
Like his acting performance is
Oh, for
something.
acting.
I don't
Okay.
care who else is nominated. Like what he does in this movie, he is fucking something else.
Really?
Yeah. It's the best thing he's ever done by far, and it's one of the best acting performances.
Because I know
he's
hasn't he been working on this film for like 5-6 years?
Well, it's passed around from director to director. There was Clint Eastwood was going to do it for a while.
Oh, right.
I think Beyonce was going to be the chick role for a while, and
Okay.
Bradley Cooper is fucking good in this movie.
Wow, really?
Like, oh,
a
Jesus.
third mention. All right, shit.
So he's easily my favorite thing
Right.
from it, and almost worth watching it alone for his
All right, we'll
performance.
calm down. If it doesn't get Best Actor, Best Director, or Best Picture, no. Best Actor, Best Director, Best Picture. She's not going to be nominated. Will she be nominated?
I think so, yeah. Because it is enough of a. It's enough of a like. It makes a statement as like it's one of those statement performances where
Lady
it's like,
Gaga's going to win Best Actress.
I don't think she'll win.
Best Actress is that what you're saying to me?
I don't think so. I think she'll get nominated, but I feel like
it's the nomination in its own is good enough.
I think that's her victory thing,
Okay.
but that's just me because people think she's fucking great in this movie. But I don't know. I felt cold and distanced from her.
All right. Well, I am a Gaga fan. I've seen her live. I do like her music.
Sure.
The last two albums I didn't really hit home, but then again, not a lot of people like the last two albums.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll give it a watch. Maybe. If I could fucking be bothered.
It's long. Oh, is it long?
Are you serious?
Fuck, mate.
Oh, great. All right. Well,
it's not Independence Day long, but it's long.
Moving on to our next segment, Tyson, which is called Crossing the Skies. Oh, that was a good one.
Was a
All
good
right. Well, I have mine.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go for it then.
I'm staying in tune with our feature presentation, which was Independence Day, if you've only just tuned in, which is bizarre because you're listening to a podcast. But
I love it if people are like, yeah, I don't listen to the whole show. I just listen to the end.
That's hilarious. Mine is, it is on, what is this? This is Netflix. It is 1977, and it is Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Nice.
So when I was watching Independence Day, I've only seen Close Encounters I think 3 times, and every time I watch it, it's one of those films where I'm like, why haven't I watched this more? This is such a great film. Like, I love every single bit of it, from knowing that it's in the 70s and seeing the accomplishments that Steven Spielberg pulled off in this thing. Not only with the urgency of the fact that we're meeting aliens for the first time, that there are aliens, that they're having effects on people, and then from the Richard, it was it wasn't my first contact with Richard Dreyfuss. That was either Stand By Me or Jaws, but I think it was similar, or it was around that time. But yeah, I think his performance is great. It's really nice to see going from that to Saving Private Ryan, seeing Spielberg kind of grow as a director as well, showing the things that he comes across, because it's sort of
it is nice to jump between early and later Spielberg.
Because it doesn't have that Goonies feel, like it doesn't have that kids playing sort of Spielberg movie that you're used to with E.T. It does a little, like in that time, but it is a little bit more adult. And with the ending, it's mind blowing. I love it. I love every little bit of it. I remember I watched this for the first time. Believe it or not, me and my family were going on like a road trip. We went camping in like 3 different places, and then last night my mum was like, we're just going to stay in a hotel for tonight because I can't be fucked putting up the tent again. I'm like, yeah, cool. So we're all sitting down, and me and my dad, he put on, it literally just started, and it was on a TV. You know how they used to mount TVs in like the top corner of the room?
Oh, yes.
Before there were like wall mounts?
Yes.
It was the top corner, and we watched, and it was such a small television. But I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind in like a dingy hotel. And it was such a beautiful experience. I was married to that experience because of that hotel.
That's
like
really cool,
that
man.
hotel had like, the quilts of the 80s, and it was such a, the carpet was orange, and it was hilarious. My brother passed out, my mum passed out, and me and my dad watched Close Encounters and ate M&Ms. It was great.
That is a very nice memory. I like that a lot.
It was nice.
That's very sweet.
Close Encounters, Netflix.
Yeah, good choice.
If you
man.
haven't seen Close Encounters, absolutely give it a watch because you'll be surprised.
I feel like it's that little kind of, it's that middle one. It's the Spielberg one that I think people overlook the most.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got Jaws.
Everyone loves Jaws. Either that or E.T.
And E.T. Everyone loves E.T.
Or Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's like it's Close Encounters is that one kind of in between that people kind of just forget exists, I think. Especially, even though it was kind of, I think it was the one that really kind of cemented him as a serious filmmaker. Because I know Jaws obviously was...
Jaws could have been a flash in the pan.
But I think, and because it is a horror movie...
Yeah.
In air quotes.
Yeah.
I think Close Encounters did a lot for to take him seriously as a filmmaker because he presented, yes, it was a genre film, but much like Jaws, it was, it was
a lot
prestige
more of a drama
as well. Yeah.
exactly.
And so people really stood up and took notice. And I think he was nominated for Best Director again for that, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think so.
Oh. And also, it sticks out of my head for some reason. JB brought out, remember that edition where it came in the spaceship?
No.
Close Encounters? It was such a stupid big fucking thing. And you push the button and it would play the sound.
Yeah. I've got the ET one of that, by the way.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's got a little thing where it drops down and little ET comes walking out of it.
That's hilarious.
I have not opened it, but...
no, don't open it.
No, never.
Never. Things like this shouldn't be opened. All right, Thomas, what have you got there?
Oh, man, I'm not doing well.
You're not doing well?
All right, so here we go. We've probably... No, I'm sure we've... No, we've done that one before.
We've done that one before?
Hang on. Okay.
Also, winner of Best Cinematography, Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Role in an Actress, Melinda Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, nominee, Best Director. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it kind of continued on.
Who won 78, Tyson? I love throwing this at you, and you just...
1978?
78, Best Director.
Who won Best Director in 78? Was that...
I have no idea, by the way.
It wasn't John G. Alverson for Rocky. That was 70.
Oh, really?
Was that 77?
78. Oscars. 78. Best Picture. Oh.
If you tell me what the Best Picture is, I think I'll do all right. Oh, was it Godfather 2? Was it Coppola?
Best Picture, Annie Hall.
Ah, no way.
So who won Best Director?
Well, did Woody Allen...
Was it Woody?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was Woody.
Oh, maybe he did.
Really?
Because this was back in the day when it was pretty common for it to
be both,
even if it was like a romantic comedy.
Yeah, it was. It was Woody Allen.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Jesus. You know what came out that year?
What's that?
Star Wars: A New Hope. Oh. What do you got, Ticey?
I got nothing, so I'm just going to throw something in the mix. You know what? It's getting to that time again of year.
Oh, yeah?
And Stan has a tremendous habit of just making sure that this movie's around when you need it. We're getting close. It's November, so we can start talking about this. But National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is back on Stan. I feel like it's like just a general community announcement, like public service announcement. Just so everyone knows.
It just comes back.
Christmas Vacation. It's back on Stan.
By the way,
make sure you check it out. It's always good fun. It's never too early in the year to watch Christmas Vacation, as far as I'm concerned.
It really isn't, and I haven't watched it enough, to be honest. I need to watch it again. My favourite bit I still remember is the fucking cat in the Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
Poor guy.
Poor guy,
oh,
indeed.
Jesus.
I think I said I was going to watch this last year and then didn't.
Oh, really?
And so I'm definitely going to try and watch it this year.
I'm going to watch more National
Maybe we should do an episode on it
Lampoons.
this year, mate. Because
I'd be up for that.
That'll be a good one to do in our Christmas special episodes.
But
yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I can't be fucked.
Yeah, fair. Christmas Vacation. We'll watch it when December comes around. Hey, look, there's already Christmas decorations up in stores.
That's it.
They're
as soon
all
as you can
around.
buy an advent calendar full of chocolate, it's
Boom.
early enough to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, as
Bring
far
it
as
on.
I'm concerned.
Started early, fuck it.
Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nick Tyson Videotape. If you would like to join in on more fun, or maybe look up a movie that we've done before that you're like, you know what? I didn't like Independence Day. I'm going to look up something. Oh, look, they've done Terminator 3. I actually like that movie. I'm going to watch that. Hey, listen to that episode. You can do that on such things as iTunes, TuneIn Radio, podcasts. No, what am I listening to? Casts.
They're called podcasts. Yes, Nick.
It's called Casts. That's right. Any place of those. And if you can, rate, review, or subscribe to us, we would absolutely love that.
Yes, it's the rating, the reviewing that we would absolutely appreciate. Any kind words you could add to on iTunes. It just makes a huge difference to the algorithms and stuff, and gets us
helps us be seen by more people. Yeah, but if not, hey, word of mouth, it works for us. Other than that, we are on social media. If you would like to look us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, we're all on them. You do get different things on each thing, so that's why you look up all of them. And
get on all of them. That's it.
Jump onto it. And yes, if you would like, we are coming up on December. It is going to be the silly season. I hate that term. Silly season.
Not quite Christmas movies.
Not quite Christmas movie specials. We're going to be reviewing Christmas movies, so if you would like one specifically, such as Tice?
Well, we do kind of lean towards movies that maybe aren't your traditional Christmas films.
But we'll chuck one in there.
So we're happy to chuck one in, of course. But we're like it's the eternal argument: is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Is it?
We like to talk about those kind of movies. So if you have a look at last year,
Black's movies,
exactly.
Christmas
So
movies?
pretty much we can just do any Shane Black movies. But we did last year. We did Gremlins. We did
Love Actually.
Long Kiss Goodnight. I don't think Love
Goodnight.
Actually was during Christmas, was it?
No, it was. Of course it was.
Was it?
What are you
Yeah,
talking
okay.
about?
Love Actually, yeah. So movies that, while they're not specifically centered around Christmas, have Christmas running through them, and
exactly,
are movies that you like to watch around that time because
right.
brings in the Yuletide glee.
Glee? Yuletide
joy? I don't know. Whatever.
I have no idea.
Next week, though, Nick.
Oh, Tyson.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be revelicious.
It is. I'm so excited to steal boxes of DVD players.
Steal boxes, that's so funny. Because we did Independence Day, me and Tice have decided to really blow it out, and we're going to lose our minds and just watch a shitload of blockbusters. So we're going to start off one that started a franchise that is still going.
Somehow still going.
It's
like one of the only franchises that died.
And then came back to life and made so much more money.
Yeah, and actually made it second time around.
Yeah. And we're talking about Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, so we're going to watch the very first Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah, 2000.
It might be 2000 on the dot, maybe 2001.
I think it was 2001.
Oh dear, this is going to be fun.
Bring it on!
I'm so excited for the 2001-ness of it all.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of lens flare.
I think I'm more just excited for the hairdos, to be honest. And the costume, like the,
pretty sure it's all
fashion
just fucking
choices.
one-liners and bad leather.
Yeah.
White leather.
This is Brazil. What's that one from when he does that? That's not the first one, is it?
Fucking idea.
I love that bit.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. But until then, my friend Tice.
Yes, Nicholas.
We are tuning out.
Let's do that.
Have fun, people.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.